We're live on YouTube.
All right, man. We are now live. So we're on YouTube. Let's wait a minute, see if we can get some people in real quick, and I believe we are live. I'm gonna send a link into the page as well. So bear with me for a moment. So we are live on YouTube, but we need to make sure that our Facebook audience
can get they're watching.
We had. I'm gonna post it into the page.
Yeah. One second, but I'm just gonna write. Today go okay, hold on. For some reason, he doesn't come off all the time. All right, Locked In. I don't know why it doesn't come first. The Locked In podcast. I do so much research on it. Like I always,
I'm just posting the link into the live stream and the thing. All right, cool. We are in the thing. And it looks like comments are allowed this time. So,
without further ado,
comments are working. So we got that fixed from last time. So now people can comment down below. All right, man. So without further ado,
here we are.
All right, guys. Everybody out there, welcome to a very special episode, as it is episode 10 of the Locked In podcast. And me and George were just talking about this. It's a very long time coming. So it's the 10th episode. It's crazy how fast we got here. Does not feel like we've been at this for 10 episodes now. And we even had a bye week in between. So, guys, if you've seen the promos, you know what this is about. If not, though, I'm going to tell you right now. This is episode 10 of the Locked In podcast. We welcome you back. We are live on YouTube at the moment. We have a link in the Facebook description in the group for you guys to come in and chime in with any of your comments or anything you guys want to talk about on here with related to our topics, which are travel. We're going to talk about a few different things here. We're going to talk about our top 10 destinations. This can be international, domestic, where we want to travel, or maybe places we've been to.
Right.
Solid experiences with. Some travel hacks, how to get through TSA pretty quickly. Maybe some things you guys haven't heard of. Ways to fit everything in your carry-on bags. So we're going to have some hacks kind of going on as well.
Yeah.
Our top travel package apps. So like the different apps that you guys have out there, the ones that I've had the best experience with, as well as George. And then we're also going to talk about the top domestic airlines that you guys should fly. And we'll talk about some of the international as well. And maybe some ones that you shouldn't fly. So we'll talk about that. Then we're going to dive into adrenaline rush activities. I think this is going to be a good one. Things we've done and things that we're waiting on that bucket list.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, it is episode 10. And as always, I'm Steve. I'm joined alongside me with the man himself,
George Mechai, a.k.a. G-Mac or G-Money. My man Steve right here. Thank you, Steve. So how's everybody doing? And here we are.
Here we are. One time coming, episode 10, and ready to kick it off. So
what's up? our friends, people. Here we are, episode 10, man. It's been a long way coming for the 10th one. We definitely spoke about this one for a while. Been a long way coming, and we kind of planned it a little differently. We kind of still going that vibe. I mean, 8 and 9 would be pretty solid, as almost all the episodes have been anyway. They all been pretty good. So that's kind of one of the things we want to talk about. A small recap as well as today's topic, and we're gonna dive into a lot of things. And this is definitely one not to miss. So we're gonna take our time with this, as always. I mean, my man Steve here to kind of set us all off. What's going on today, man? How you feeling today on this nice little, I guess, rainy Thursday? In Philly, a little bit of a rainy
Rain,
Thursday.
rainy but productive, man.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah.
killing it, dude. Always, man. How's your week going, man? You powering through. I hope you're accomplishing all the goals that you set forth this week.
Yeah, bro. My week is going pretty well. I got a lot done. Still a lot to be done, and like always, man, not enough time in a day, and it's just one of those Thursdays, as always. A nice thirsty Thursday, but here we are. With Sherlyn working. Got my little Red Bull. Might need one of these every now and then. Sipping a Rebel
Nice.
today.
I'm drinking a little on the other side. I got my aminos in my one thing, and then I got
Very good.
my bang drink.
Bingo. Yeah.
Uh,
Good stuff, bro.
so yeah. As you guys heard, travel, adrenaline topics. This one's going to be good, man. Travel is always something you can have fun with. So I think it's a solid topic, and I think it's fitting for episode 10.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
Especially with what we'll be talking about, our cheap flights that are kind of going on too with COVID and everything. So should be interesting, man. So do you want to kick this one off, man, or you think I should? Then I'll kick it back over to you. Which way you want to go with this one?
I can start if you want. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to say and time to say it, and I know exactly what I'll talk about. Yeah, so
All right, man, kick us off.
get into the topic then. Let's kind of like discuss a few things. So about traveling, like we said, we'll have other episodes, then we'll talk about this as well in depth and different things. It's important, and I want to highlight a few things. And you guys can chime in, on your comment section on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, or even IG eventually when you see the show. We'll talk about spots to visit and places like you said we've visited. But I mean, number one is traveling. Here's the thing: traveling is, like everybody wants to travel. Everybody always wants to travel, right? Right now, it's one of the hottest topics. Yes, it is. It's one of the hottest trends because, like you said, everybody's traveling, but people might not know that right now it's the easiest time to travel because a lot of places are pretty open to tourists. Even though tourism hasn't really been that great because of COVID and all, but COVID birthed this whole idea of going when no one is really around. So it's like a little trick that people are doing. Speaking of perks and cons and pros of traveling, which we'll get into in a few minutes. And right now is the right time to travel, bro. So the people that travel right now, I just kind of like wish them a safe sort of like travel. And you gotta be careful on a plane. I mean, you might still get catch something. You don't know, man. I mean, people are catching the COVID. It is what it is. So if you mask up and keep your area clean, and hopefully it's not a lot of people in a plane, you should be good to go. And you traveled recently, so you probably would know better than anybody right now what the planes are looking like.
Yeah, the procedures are very, very they're very strict, and they're adhering. I mean, I've flown American, and that's usually my airline of choice when I fly domestically. It's American Airlines. So when I was on American, they're pretty strict with it. You have to wear a mask the entire flight. Obviously, you have to have a mask on the airport throughout the entire process. If you can't wear a mask for whatever reason, American may not allow you to fly in the future. So they're pretty strict with it. They give you like a little bag when you go on. You usually get like a little water bottle, like a little snack, and then they give you sanitizing wipes as well. So I'd say it's pretty strict protocol. From when I was on the plane, the stewardess was taking it pretty seriously. People would try to have their mask down a little bit. They weren't tolerating it. If you're a little worried about traveling, people not following the rules, American Airlines is pretty top notch with that. At least from the experience that I have on my end.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I haven't traveled in a while, but when I used to travel, there was always like a lot of like, even after like post 9/11 and all that, it was always a lot of security, a lot of procedures, and be careful, try to keep it clean and all that. But now people are especially paying attention to like who's sick, who has a fever, who looks like they're coughing too much, and they might move you somewhere isolated, who looks like they're sick. I mean, you gotta be obviously the plane, and if you're not cleaning a plane, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, at this point, man, you're killing it. Come on, you gotta do what you gotta do to the plane. But with COVID, you gotta be careful how you sneeze, you sanitize your hands, masks, and I think they keep a distance, just like in the bleachers in the stadiums, because it is a lot of people in one area. I mean, there's a big plane full of people, so yeah. From what I've heard, people have traveled, they've been very careful lately, but it's been a lot of places to go, man, and it's been really cheap as well. and that kind of leads me to one of the things I want to talk about to kind of stare apart this way. Some of the destinations, to go. I mean, there's just so many, bro, and it's hard to pick. But I think you start out like, if personally right now, I would probably travel a little domestically more, like in this, like for example, like in the upcoming 3, 4 months, 5 months. By April, May of next year, God willing, everything goes well, I would definitely go out of country. I'm sorry, and maybe even overseas. I was even thinking somewhere in
Right.
Asia. I got people to go out there in Cambodia and Vietnam and in Thailand.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of places on my bucket list out
Yeah,
there, man.
for sure.
As of right now,
Indonesia.
I'm just flying to fly, domestically, but I've actually never been overseas. So I everywhere I've traveled has been domestically. So any of the international destinations I wound up talking about today are bucket list spots, not spots I've been to from experience. George, I know you grew up from overseas, so I mean I know that you've definitely flown international before. I finally got my passport as well. So you obviously need this bad boy if you want to go anywhere outside of the country,
Yeah,
here in Canada. So it's important for that for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of spots I definitely want to go to. I know overseas travel right now, so like COVID-19 restrictions. Right now, I believe the majority of countries you have to quarantine for 14 days before traveling to any of those countries, and you need
yes,
to prove it. You need to
yes.
get cleared by a doctor. You need to get signed off before you go overseas travel. So overseas travel is definitely possible right now, but you have to quarantine for 14 days, or at least or have a doctor write you a note and sign off that you do not have COVID before boarding any of those flights. A lot of those countries are very, very strict
Yeah.
overseas. So it's a little bit more of a hassle, but if you want to take advantage of the flights right now, another thing that I would recommend, obviously before traveling overseas right now, is to look at the COVID guidelines, kind of see what's kind of going on in that country. Obviously, you don't want to spend thousands of dollars booking a trip somewhere, and then for pretty much the majority of the country to be shut down, and not allow people who are flying from other countries in to be able to do anything. So I would definitely be smart, but kind of like you were just hinting on there, man. Flights are cheaper than ever right now, depending on where you're flying. But I know a lot of domestic spots, very very cheap. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah. I mean, domestically been cheap, and I think I was telling you one of our first episodes. A buddy of mine actually got to go to Portugal and France earlier in the year, but we're talking about right around the time COVID was starting out in America. Like when it was kind of going big around the world. Uh, I know like countries like France and Spain and Italy and even Portugal, they were starting to have that since like late February, March. But this guy was in early March, end of February, and he showed me some pictures. And long story short, bro, what I heard from the grapevine, it was only like $180 to go, which is like unheard of. I think to one place he might have paid a little more for, because I think he took a small flight from France to Portugal, which is not as far as here. But yeah, I mean, he was out there, and you know, it was fun. It was definitely nice, he said, and it was really cheap prices. And this is unprecedented. It's never been this cheap. However, from what I'm listening to and I'm hearing, prices are kind of starting to go up again.
A little bit because now there's a COVID vaccine. Pfizer released it
Yeah.
a few days ago. So now I'm noticing that flights are definitely increasing just a little bit. Um, you got to pick and choose, and also that's going to come down to what traveling apps you're using. So like obviously when you book a vacation somewhere, wherever you're traveling, you want to book it as a package. Usually you're going to get cheaper prices if you book it as a package. And you know what? This was kind of going to be structured, but just kind of going down, man. What are some of the top traveling apps that you've used? Have you ever used like travel package apps? Like, what would you say are like on the top of your list?
There's a couple of them, bro. To be honest, I don't use too many. I know a couple of them. I know like Expedia's one that like I think you can get on your phone as well. I think it is an app, but it's also like
Expedia is my number one. That's
yeah,
why
number
I
one.
love Expedia.
Right, right. I think you said you used that one. I've used Expedia and I got tickets to go like to Houston, like mostly domestically. And I looked up, some pairs like $600, $400 cheaper than that. Cali, you know. But Expedia is the one I use. And for overseas, I mean, I haven't used too much because I haven't really traveled overseas in the last like 12, 13 years, if not more, maybe like almost 14 years now. But like when I would go there, yeah, usually, a lot of times I would use like Expedia, just look stuff on Google because the whole app game and applications on your phone and different things, software has gotten bigger more in the last like 9 to 8 years as opposed to like before. So I haven't really went overseas, recently. But when I go, I'll probably use Expedia and a couple other offers that they use on online stuff. There's another one that I can't think of the name right now, but a friend of mine who actually will be in one of the episodes coming up on the podcast. He'll be a guest soon. He knows about that one because he travels a lot too, and he's been to excuse me, he's been to France and Portugal and Spain. We're using that one, and he says he gets like tickets like way at a time, and if they're $1,000 usually, he can get them for like 650, 700. So you're saving $300. Like you're saving over 30%, bro, on $1,000, bro. That's good. You know, you're saving a lot. Um, Now as far as traveling, like recently, I haven't traveled much by plane, but I used to go, bro. Again, I would use a lot of the U.S. airlines, and some of my top airlines would be. Let me see. Got some notes here as well. Okay, so Southwest, Delta, um, JetBlue. I've used it like maybe one time in Lufthansa. Like I heard about my father's using Lufthansa. My parents. It's a pretty big one.
Definitely, definitely. Travel apps wise, I would say if I'm going travel app wise, Expedia is usually my number one. Other ones I've had good experiences with on my end. Kayak's been a good one. Hotels.com. When I was supposed to go to Boston, I had to do a last minute cancellation. A little something came up.
I
They
remember
actually
that.
gave me a refund the day of, which for that I highly recommend them. Some of the other ones that I haven't had as great experiences with that are like Booking.com. I've had some bad experiences with Booking.com. That's mainly like hotels and stuff. It's not really a travel package one, but other ones that I've had good experiences with, Travelocity, Orbitz. Though Travelocity and Orbitz are like the sister companies of Expedia, so they're kind of all under the same branch. But Expedia is great. I love it. Package wise, they usually always find me solid deals. And dude, I just traveled to South Beach, Miami using Expedia, and it saved me like $2,000. Like
Yeah.
it's unreal. Like I found a solid deal. And if anybody is ever thinking about going to South Beach, Miami, even right now, it's absolutely beautiful. I know a hurricane just kind of hit there, but I was just there a few weeks ago. It was absolutely beautiful down there. The weather's phenomenal. And I got a flight with a hotel for it was like $250. Like it's ridiculous. Like, and I stayed there for 4 days. So like to be able to travel at these prices right now, it's pretty ridiculous. Even I was just looking at Las Vegas and California, two other spots that I want to go to, like Los Angeles and Vegas. I was able to find like a package for like $350 a person for like 5 days. It's pretty ridiculous. That's your flight from Philadelphia to Vegas. Nice, nice. And so yeah, it was like your flight from Vegas and your hotel. It's ridiculous. $350. Like so apps wise, that's what I would say. Expedia, Travelocity, Orbit, hotels.com. And then one like booking.com I've had bad experiences with.
I heard
So
of that one too.
I would
Hotels.com
avoid
is a good
them.
one. Actually, I hear that all the time on a commercial. And Expedia is obviously very common because you see the
Yeah.
commercials. I like how they give you all kinds of options where you go domestic, overseas, and also overseas but close by, like the Bahamas or PR, which is technically overseas, but it's so close by. You know,
Yeah, no, it's definitely solid. And then like
Mexico.
you were talking about your airlines too. So domestic airlines, some of the best ones out there that you guys could possibly fly on are Southwest. You mentioned Southwest, American Airlines. I always have had great experience anytime I've ever flown American. JetBlue. I would also say Delta. Delta's not bad either. Delta's a decent airline flight. And then you're also going to say the other one's like Alaska Airlines is another top one. It's a big one. Never flown it. Heard good things though. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. Couple ones that I think are notorious. You can get cheap flights on them, but they're not necessarily great flights. A lot of times you hear a lot of delays, not a lot of space for carry on. It's kind of crazy. Spirit and Frontier. I think they're, I mean, but you know what? You get what you pay for. If you're going to pay for cheap flights like Spirit and Frontier, it's not bad, but I would just say be conscious of where you're traveling to.
Right.
Spirit a lot of times the space on the plane is very, very tight. So if you're going to be on a long flight, I would not suggest Spirit. So like maybe if you're flying to Miami, which is only like two
Yeah,
hours,
3 hour flight. Yeah, about 2.5 hours. Right, right.
Spirit might not be a bad option. But keep in mind that a lot of those cheaper flights, there's not much room. You're on top of each other basically. And then with COVID, it's kind of tough. See, I really don't know how Spirit's spacing out their planes right now or how that kind of what they're doing. But I just know that in general, before COVID, those flights are very, very tight. They're very, very narrow and tightly packed. So just be conscious. You get what you pay for. Um, But yeah, domestically, those are some of my big ones. We'll get into some international airlines that we definitely recommend as well. I know George, you could probably recommend some more
Yeah.
than I can. I haven't traveled internationally. I'm just going off of word of mouth from people I know that travel frequently and what I've seen, like from reviews wise. But we'll get into international a little bit.
No doubt, no doubt. So real quick, Steve, I don't take the time before we move a little forward. How about now, as far as like, since you travel more recently, and I can also try to, jump in this one as well, because even if you're not going by plane, even if you're gonna go like, say, gonna go to like, I don't know, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, but not take the plane, maybe drive or whatever, like 2 hours away. Let's talk about some of the stuff, how to prepare for it, and what to do and sort of like what not to do. Some mistakes that even me and you have done. I mean, let's be real, everyone makes mistakes.
So
So
so before so
you
before we
travel
get to the
recently,
hacks,
right?
why don't we talk about the places we want to travel and places that we recommend to travel? So maybe like 5 spots. What are like some spots, George, that like maybe you have traveled and you really had a good experience, or spots that you want to travel that are on your bucket list, whether it's
So
international or domestic?
travel. Okay, so spots that I've traveled to, couple of good spots. I mean, I'll give you some of the places I've been to. Like it's been a while, but the main ones. So I've been to Venice, Italy. I was there many years ago. I actually been there twice, no, 3 times, but one time was more like an airport. Twice was actually going there. Great experience, dude. I mean, you can take the boat. The boat looks like this, with the guy that rows you, like the rowboats, the classical traditional ones in Venice, the Venetian ones. Take the boat from place to place, or a small boat like with people, like an actual, like a boat, even a yacht, and go from like one part of town to the next. You have San Marco's church, is huge. I do got a picture in it. I can't really pull it up right now, but I got a picture when I was real young there. I think I got one posted on my G as well, like a throwback. But yeah, I was real young. I went there when I was like 10 and I was like 13. And also went there one time when I was like 14, but I was like a little, I was on the airport. So that's a great place to go to, Venice. Pigeons are so clean, bro, to come to your hands and stuff. They eat out your hands. You have like some bird food and pigeon food and they'll flock you. Or the white doves. It's amazing, dude. I actually have a picture of that. So I wish I took it out to archives, but one day. Okay. Another place is Greece. I've been to Greece twice as well. One time, really, like when I was very, very young, years and years ago. Another time when I was a little older. So I've been there twice. My father was there actually more recently as well. Uh, I've been to Athens, Greece. I've been to Yanina, Greece. I've been to the coastline on the west side of it, and also been down near like going towards like Sparta, like in the Peloponnese island, which is not an island. It's like a peninsula of Greece, but it's got the bottom part of it. Athens, I got an auntie there. I also have a cousin and friends there, and my father has some family, mostly my mom's side family. So to me, it's like I could go there whenever. Well, obviously, I got a travel ban because I gotta renew my passport. Other than that, I'm good to go. So yeah, so I'll start going again. Greece is beautiful too, bro. Just like you assume, the water is. I mean, the beach is amazing there. Just the coastline is just out this world, bro. Italy is beautiful and probably even better than Greece, but Greece gives it a run for its money. Coastline, just because it's so traditional, it's so old school. It's amazing. Like the song Greece. um,
Nice.
yeah. So we see. I've been to Athens. Is a really nice city, but really captures the essence and the beauty of Athens, bro. It's just the Acropolis and the buildings around it, and some of the casinos. It's a very notorious city for casinos. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
It's like the New York of Greece. You go there 12 a night, 12:30 night. It feels like 8:30 in the evening, 9 o'clock in the night or evening. But it's 12:30 in the morning, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 12:45, and cars are packing bumper to bumper. Just traffic, dude. Oh yeah, I remember the night very well, dude. Back in '98, and I was there like when I was about 11 years old, and we're driving there, and we're not even at the spot yet, and we drove damn near 12 hours. We drove from Albania to Greece. Took a boat for like a small trip. Like you take a car to the boat, and you go for like a 14-minute boat ride, which is nothing. Big ass boat, a big boat, right? Then you go back down, you drive around, dude, and it's just like the traffic that never stops. I'm like, dude, Athens is like New York of Greece. It's huge, bro. It's a big city, and it's a very old city. We're talking about like over 4,000-year-old city. I mean, if you want to be technical, it's got history. So Acropolis, beautiful. Another place I've been to, Milan, Italy. I've been to Milan, Italy when I was younger. Also a great city. I wish I would have went there when I was a little older, but no, actually, wait, I went there twice, but second time I didn't go exactly in Milan. I was more like in a around there, in the areas around Milan. I was there when I was younger. It's of course, the what's it called, the center of it's one of the centers of North Italy when it comes to like a lot of things, like commerce, economy and modeling, of course, cultural center as well. Very nice city to go to. Think of London, Paris, Milan, and New York. So there we go. It's just one of those cities, right? Also, another city I've been to that it's been a while, but I've been to it's been Rome, Italy. I've been to Rome, Italy, because I used to live in Italy, so for me it's a little different. I've been to Rome when I was younger, and also been to London, but only one time, and I was only there for like a day. So I was a little. We did get to drive around a little, but I didn't get to see as much as I wanted to see. Although I do remember the Big Ben and some of the buildings, like the Royal Palace. You kind of see it from far. So this is 5 spots that I've been to. There's other spots too, which I didn't mention, but this is some of the main ones I've been to. So yeah,
Interesting, man. Interesting.
yeah.
Seems like you're pretty well traveled, man. Like you got a lot of traveling under your belt.
I got a lot of traveling done, bro. Like I said, and I never front. It's been a while since I really traveled like I want to travel. I mean, I did go to Buffalo a few years back. I went to New York a couple like weeks ago, and a couple months ago. I was down south like 3 years ago, and then before that, it had been like 9 years almost. So I've been down south twice. I've been around the East Coast. I've been to Connecticut, Buffalo, New York State, PA State, Ohio. Never been to like Chicago or the Midwest, except for Ohio one time, right there. But I want to go to more. I want to travel more. In the United States, there's so much to go. I never been to Cali. I haven't been to Florida. I've been down south, but not Florida yet. So Florida, and then definitely I want to go to. Well, I get to the place I want to go to, but Mexico is one of them for sure. Like the coastline, like Cancun and all that.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's interesting, man. Yeah, I got a solid amount of bucket list spots, and some spots I've been to as well. Um, I would just say
Say
off
the
my
spots you've been to, and then we'll go to our bucket list, like spots that we want to go. So
yeah, I haven't been to a ton of places. So like I've been to a lot of spots down the coastline. Like so I've been to North Carolina, I've been to Virginia, I've been to obviously Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland. I've been obviously to New York. Boston's one on my bucket list that that like it's not even that far. It's just trying to get a plan to get up there. Boston's definitely a spot I want to go to. I'm just saying, like real close. Obviously, that's not one of my top bucket list spots, but I would also say like other places I've been down. Like you said, you never been to Florida. I've been to Florida multiple times. I've been to South Beach, Miami. I've been to Miami twice, and I've been to Disney twice. So I've been to Orlando twice. I was in Orlando when I was for Disney when I was 10. I was there when I was 14, and then I've been to South. I was just recently in South Beach a couple weeks ago.
right.
That was really fun. So Miami, and then places like I'll dive into some places that I want to go to. So you traveled a lot of spots overseas, and then you kind of came over here. Spots I want to go to. I'll start domestically before I go like anywhere international. Domestically, so I've been to Miami now. Like places I do want to go to, Las Vegas is my next spot. That's probably where I'm going to be going next.
Jackpot.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe if all pans out, maybe next month. So
We'll see.
Vegas and Los Angeles are two of them right there. Midwest, kind of like you mentioned, Chicago, definitely a spot I want to travel and go to. Just fly out to. I've heard a lot of good things. Seattle, Washington is another one.
Yeah.
It's always been one that's always kind of interested me. I would also say because this does fall under domestic technically, I want to go to Maui in Hawaii. So that's definitely a spot that I would love to travel to.
That'd be beautiful, bro. It's overseas, but still part of the United States. Technically, it's not
U.S. territory, so yeah, it's still domestic. It's still domestic flight. Yeah, I know flights to Hawaii.
Far. No, I understand.
Flights to Hawaii can get very expensive too.
Hawaii has got to be by far, and don't quote me on this unless you want to Google it real quick. I can Google it too. But Hawaii's got to be the most expensive state by far, just because the distance is too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's
California.
crazy.
To go to Hawaii, you got to go to Cali, no matter what. Like you got to go to LA, so it's like you go here to go here. It's far, But
yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, definitely, man. So, like I said, Hawaii is definitely a spot I want to go to. Another spot, Montana, man, just because it's like Montana has like a lot of beautiful like nature. If you're like someone who likes like hiking and just seeing some beautiful views, Montana. Another spot, Colorado, man. I just want to go to Colorado and just go to like Denver and just like do some hiking and like some crazy stuff. Heard some great things out there. I've heard good things about Arizona as well. There's just so many spots, man. It is hard to like even just put a top 10. There's a lot of places that I want to travel, and it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for a city vibe and you're going for somewhere, or if you're going for a beach vibe, or you're going for like a nature vibe, you're trying to hike.
A relaxation vibe, just to kind of like see what's going on. Like just travel the American North and the Northwest, or even the West, bro. Like how Anthony Bourdain would do. He'd go around and before he passed away, and he'd travel a lot of places and chill. Like you'd watch the sky and of course the cooking and all that. But there's so much out there, bro, in his land. I'm glad you brought it up. Montana is definitely one of the spots. I never really thought of Montana like that, but it's nice out there. The great
Utah too, man.
Yellowstone Park is in Wyoming, Montana.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
much.
Oh
Beautiful.
yeah, Yosemite National Park. I know another good spot that I've heard great things about where you can it's very, very beautiful, Utah. Like certain parts of Utah are very, very beautiful as well.
Yeah, Utah.
Um,
Nice.
so that's another spot. Yeah.
I got a
Just
friend in Colorado and I got a friend in Utah, and I mean Utah is very nice, bro. It's just like it's so peaceful and it's not crime. It's not too much crime there. It's just because it's very. I mean, granted, they got some big cities, but it's not a very populated state. I mean, PA might have more population, but definitely two times less land as far as Utah, because Utah is such a big, wide state. PA is like just kind of wide. It's kind of rectangular shape.
exactly.
So, but you know what, though? If I just kind of jump in for a second on this topic, PA though, like our state, particularly, we're in Pennsylvania. It's one of the most like historically rich states, though. Not because Philadelphia is the first capital of the country, but there's so much to do out here. So let's not sleep on PA. It's just that we don't got the beaches that Florida does or the spots that Cali does. But I mean, we have a lot of nice places here too. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I agree with you.
of course, if you don't go to like Mount Rushmore, like South Dakota up there, I mean, that's a whole different vibe. I mean, you have open land there. Here we got like countryside with the Poconos, and we have mountains with the Appalachian Plains that start all the way from Maine, and we're taking care of. I mean, I think we're in a good location. I mean, PA is nice. I've been
PA
to
is a
PA.
nice
I've been to a
PA is
lot
a
of
nice state.
PA.
Yeah, for sure, man. So there's like some domestic spots that are definitely my bucket list spots. Like if I'm going international, like so I've never flown international. I've flown domestic multiple times, but never flown international. So obviously now, like I said, you're gonna need this bad boy. You're gonna need a passport if you're gonna
Right.
go anywhere outside the country. That even includes Canada. So flying international, definitely spots that I want to check out in my top five. So some of them that are really, really exciting to me. I'll start, you know what? I'll start with my lower ones, then I'll move up to my first one. So some spots in my top five that I definitely want to travel to are Germany. Germany, because that is it's like a split heritage. I'm German and Irish. So Ireland and Germany are definitely two spots that I definitely want to check out. Italy is definitely, that's in my top three. So Italy is definitely up there as well. Like you said, you've already been to multiple cities in Italy. And like you said, it's a very, very beautiful, beautiful country.
Yeah.
I would love to travel to Italy one day.
Top 10 countries in the world, period, hands down, bro. Italy, top
Yes.
10. And Germany, by the way. Germany's beautiful, bro. Not that Ireland is not, but Germany, it's something about Germany. You can't get nowhere in the world. And Italy. So my
Yeah, I
father's been
heard.
to Germany. He's been to Bavaria. What to do, Oktoberfest? Bro, we got to go to München. But anyway, go ahead.
No, yeah, definitely, man. Like you said, Germany's another beautiful spot. I've heard good things about all three of them. If I'm getting into my other spots, so this one's really, really far from where we're at. Tokyo, Japan. I've always been fascinated with like Japanese culture, and I've heard amazing things about people who have traveled to Tokyo. Like it's a phenomenal spot to travel to. I'm someone who's a big time sushi lover, so I would love to be able to go to Tokyo, have fresh sushi right in the heart of Tokyo, man, and just travel over there. And flights to Tokyo right now, you'd actually be shocked. It's
Thank you.
not too expensive.
Arigato mistake in Japanese.
Arigato. Yeah.
Arigato. Yeah. What's it called? Now you know what, dude? Tokyo is definitely like I was talking to my sister about Japan, and I was telling her she's been a big fan of Japan for years, but she said right now she said I would go somewhere closer because it's a big flight. I was like, it's a big flight, but I mean, from what I'm hearing, by all accounts, the flight to Japan is so worth it because Japan is like completely a different scenario. It's a different world, different vibe. It's amazing, bro. Good food. The people are so peaceful, so quiet. You go to an opera or concert there or some kind of event, and they're so quiet. It's like,
Right.
oh, you hear the crowd.
Speaking of the flight time there, man, I don't believe there's a flight that you could get a direct flight to Japan. I don't
No, you
think
cannot. We just spoke about it. You actually
cannot.
cannot. You can
Yes.
go to like Hawaii or Alaska or
Yeah. You figure how far of a flight that would be from like where we're at. We're probably the furthest you could possibly be from Tokyo almost. So you figure
Sure.
how long of a flight that is. You're not
You
getting
gotta
there
go
within.
to LA, stay there a little, take another plane to go somewhere else, then go to like Thailand and go up there. I don't know why there's no flight. Like, think about it. From LA to Tokyo is a big distance, the whole Pacific. But then if you go to like Thailand, you go a little more south, so it's still kind of far, you know.
Refuel. They need to refuel, man. That's a long trip, dude. We're like
It's a
trying to
very
fly
long
that
trip.
far.
You don't want to risk that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So Tokyo is up there, and then I'd have to say my number one, man. I've mentioned this to you multiple times. Dubai. Dubai
Yeah,
is
Dubai. Yeah,
up
yeah, of
there,
course.
and one of my
Baller
number one spot to
capital.
go to.
Baller
Cleanest
capital.
cleanest city in the world, man. That's what I'm saying. Like cleanest spot in the world. They tell you
Yeah.
Dubai. It's
Well,
fucking
hang on a
beautiful.
second now. About that. Actually, if you want to be technical, bro, Germany's the cleanest country in the world, bro. You don't see a cigar butt in Germany. That's like they also talk about it. But
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, it's kind of
Dubai's there.
true. Yeah.
Nah, Germany's extremely clean, bro. They're known. They're a beautiful city and extremely clean. I used to always hear America is like the most beautiful country in the world before I came and moved here. And yeah, it is, but clean wise, nah, nothing beats Germany. Germany and France, bro, are two of them, and Italy too. Italy's clean and very beautiful, but it depends where you go to. USA, we just have more variety. Like we have so much modernization here, like buildings and different old school places, colonial type of like office structures and all that, and architecture. Then you have like our own sort of like folklore, because I mean we are a new country, but Germany and France and England, there's just so much more older style, and Italy's like the oldest. So I mean, I'm telling you, buddy, Italy and Germany and maybe France are definitely some places we gotta go, and me, you gotta travel sometime.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
Dubai though, that's all the billionaires and the ballers live.
So how about you, man? What's your bucket list spots, dude? What's some spots that you have not been to yet that you definitely want to
Okay.
travel, both domestically and internationally?
Okay. So some spots that I want to go to that I haven't been to. Let's start domestically, and we'll talk about some cities as well eventually. Like we'll talk about because I want to do this thing. Like I want to ask you just the cities that you have been to, just cities all over the world. Although you say you haven't really been overseas, but anyway, we'll get to that. So I'll go nationally first. So locally, places in the U.S. I want to go to. I haven't actually visited yet, and mostly cities and some spots too. L.A. for sure, just L.A. Cali in general as a state, just other places in Cali. San Jose and Cali as well. It's three because I have a friend that lives there, and I got some friends and some associates up there, and it's beautiful. It'll be a great time. So if I ever go there, I'll take you with me, man. Because I mean, I got plugs out there. Trust me. They know me in San Jose, California, bro. I got friends up there, real friends. Miami Beach, of course. Well, Miami, Florida, obviously, it's number 4. It's hands down one of the top spots I got to do and knock it off my bucket list for sure. I got to go there.
Highly recommended,
Then
dude.
Houston, Texas. Also have family and friends there, and some close friends. And just because it's a big city, it's Houston. If I go there, we will make sure that we don't have a problem. So, Houston, definitely Houston. Um, Other cities, Chicago, I want to actually go there. And St. Louis is another city I would like to visit. I don't know why. I just always kind of like St. Louis. The name is cool. Oh, one more place, New Orleans. Oh, yeah. I want to go to New Orleans.
Nola.
Mardi Gras, just the culture, bro. The food is amazing. They do the Day of the Dead there and all that. It's a very rich part of the United States. One of the more culturally mixed melting pots of the United States. Of course, you have
Culture.
New York, and we have us, but so
Heavily cultured.
culture. So okay, so that's about 5, 6 spots in the United States alone. Now,
Nice.
in overall and generally, in general and overseas as well. Give me a second. I got some notes as well here. Okay, so all right, so some place I want to go, bro. Amsterdam, Holland. It's always been on my bucket list. I'm a huge fan of Holland. No, I'm not Dutch or German, nothing like that. But I'm European though, so I mean, it is kind of like part of my cult culture in a way or subculture. I mean, even though I'm Albanian, but the Albanian man has traveled everywhere, so definitely Holland, bro. Also, you do know it's legal in Holland. I mean, come on, can't beat their red light district, can't beat their their bars, their places. Marijuana is legal there. Holland makes sense, bro. It's yeah, all that. I got the jersey. I've been a huge Dutch soccer, fan and supporter. Holland's like my number 3 team in the World Cup, number 4 team. I like Holland after Italy and 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 Argentina and Brazil. So definitely hot in Germany. So Holland's one. Other places I want to go to are Paris, France, because it's Paris. It's a city of love. It's a romantic place.
City
It's
of
always been on
romance.
my bucket list. It's just Paris, l'amour.
Uh,
You know,
Ali.
gotta go there with the significant other, a girlfriend, a romantic significant other, a friend, just some of your boys.
the city of romance, man. The love's in the air.
Love is in the air for sure. Rome too, but definitely Paris. Although I've been to Rome, but again, I was really young and I need to go as a grown man, not as a little boy. I was like 10 when I went to Rome. But I still remember the Colosseum though. And actually I bought some sculptures from Rome. This big. The guy gave it to me my dad for like cheaper. Like at the time it was like $10 in Italian money. And this is 22 years ago. So I was like, damn, some nice architecture. You go any corner of Rome and get a souvenir, any corner, bro. And any corner there got a little spot like in New York, like a little what do they call it? Like, like those mini food trucks, but they're not trucks. They're like the mini things. They're like really small. They make food for you, like the little food spots that they got downtown. Rome got one in every corner, bro, and big apartments and big parks in every corner, man. It's a big city. It's very spread out. From what I know, it's the size of Philly, maybe a little smaller, but about the same population wise, and just obviously a lot older. Very symbolic city, and it's the eternal city, So you know what I mean. But anyway, so
No doubt.
Paris is a city I want to go to. Definitely back to Rome. I've been there, but I want to go there again. Um, Cancun, Mexico. I did mention it earlier, but I definitely want to go
Oh
to Cancun
yeah.
for vacation and just to kind of
Oh
visit.
yeah.
It's always been I've been very intrigued about going. A lot of people go. I never been, so it's something I gotta
Well,
just get off my chest.
if you like the tropical spots, you like the beach, like Punta Cana, like Cancun, Aruba, Jamaica, any of those spots out there, man. Like any of those tropical spots, man.
For sure, bro. For sure, that'll be great to go.
You heard the song Aruba, Jamaica. Dun, 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 dun. I forget how it goes, but
Aruba,
oh
Jamaica,
man, a lot of great spots. I'm a tropical paradise lover, so
too.
any of those spots are great to me too, man. Let's set up a trip, dude.
Now, huh?
Let's set up a trip.
Yeah, let's set up a trip for sure, bro. Definitely. I wanna. I mean, I think the first thing you should do, bro. The first place to go to would be obviously like you went to Florida. That'll be a start for me because I haven't been yet. And Miami, but I think like Puerto Rico or DR. I love in Puerto Rico, unfortunately, and didn't get much aid after like 2 years ago, the hurricane 3 years ago. They're rebuilding, but a lot got damaged. But PR is definitely another spot that I gotta, make sure I check out in the tropic, the islands. But to go back to my list, another place I want to go, bro, is Spain for sure. And me, you talked about this as well.
That's a good one.
I think Spain will be when I travel overseas after Italy will be Spain for me because I mean
Beautiful.
Albania is my country, so I've been there. I want to go back, but I'm counting countries I haven't been yet. So I've been to Albania, I've been to Greece. I want to go to Spain and I want to go to South Italy because South Italy is beautiful too. So
So I've never been to Albania. So what would be the most beautiful spot in Albania if I was just looking for a spot to like travel to? I've never been there before. What would be like your favorite part of Albania?
oh, bro, we gotta go to I actually wrote that down. You gotta go to Albania. If you go to Albania, go to Tirana, the capital. There'll be one place to go just because of nightlife and just the everything else. Everything you can find is in there. But the good spot to go to is a city called Vlora or Valona, which is like the city. It's the Miami of Albania. Beautiful. You have the sea on one side, a peninsula right here in the corner, and you have the mountain on the side of the land. It's just beautiful. The food is amazing. It's another vibe, dude. It's just the life, the nightlife never ceases to amaze you there. Every night
Well,
there, it's a good place to go. People start walking like 7 in the evening, 6:30 to about 9 o'clock. It's all people are walking around. The whole town is in one place. Well, in their downtown, but they go by the beach because the beach is right there. Think of Miami Beach, but smaller though, but just like that. And there's a lot of people, more crowded. Girls, every corner is a cute girl, bro. Oh man, you go to the city, do you fall in love, dude? Man, I haven't been there in about 13, 14 years. I haven't been there, but it's very beautiful. And you know what? It has changed a little. They made it expand a little more.
yes, sir. Man, you got yeah, dude. There's some good spot, dude. Spain is definitely another one that I would love to go to. España, España.
España.
Need to brush up on my Espanol before I head over there.
We definitely need to, bro. But in Spain, they talk a lot different Spanish than in America, which is
Yeah,
like
obviously, yeah, it's a lot
it's a way
different.
different language. I mean, we use a lot of Mexican Spanish for like school books and all that, but what you're
Yeah,
learning in
that's
Spain,
usually what it is. Yeah,
yeah, you're not learning the authentic Spanish from Spain or even from Mexico, to be honest. Because I mean, they're teaching you a lot of like just generic words, go by the book and all, but they talk different in Mexico too. I mean, there's small differences, and also the slang. If you're listening to Mexican Spanish, it's in America. It's in the slang in the streets, it's different. Or Puerto Rican Spanish here in America, in Philly, New
oh
York, or
yes.
in PR. It's just different, different
It's
dialect.
very different. The vibe is just different. Obviously, like it's a whole other culture, man. It's just a whole other country. Like you said, the Spanish that you're gonna hear in our textbooks in high school and stuff, it just is not the same, and the slang can get lost in translation a little bit. Like because they're so used to talking it, it's a whole nother language. Like it's
Yeah.
not the same.
It's not the same. No, no.
No.
It's slang, bro. Like I said, if you're learning Puerto Rican Spanish, it's one thing. But if you're learning it off like TV or just kind of your ears like picking up small things, you're gonna learn it like as you go, and it's all different. If you sit down and learn it, you might learn a more proper one. And again, it's based on like Spain Spanish, but most of it's Puerto Rican Spanish or like Mexican Spanish, Dominican Spanish, and it depends who's talking, how fast, and if you're looking at books, because there's English words, there's slang, you got Spanglish, which is not even really Spanish, it's just Spanish with some English words, or a little Spanish and some English
Yeah, exactly.
Americanization or English Anglicization, if you want to call it
Exactly.
that. Yeah, Spanish definitely differs, but it's the biggest language in America, other than English, of course, and probably one of the biggest in the world, up there with like Arabic and English and even Russian. So Spanish, I mean French,
Yeah, no
Italian and
doubt,
Turkish are
man.
pretty big, but Italian is big too, but mostly in Europe. I mean, in Albania,
Yeah.
you hear a lot of Italian being spoken and a lot of Spanish because they speak Spanish from the telenovelas, from the TV shows, but people there actually speak Spanish, like a lot of people can speak it pretty fluently, or Italian. Italian definitely is more popular, and English because obviously the schools there all teach English now, and you speak English, it's like you're more culturally sound. I mean, you're more like it's like a class thing, it's a status thing. If you speak English, you're he's intelligent. You went to school, you do a course, you learn in school. Now you can go overseas and speak English. Come to America, you're good because you already speak the language. Whereas if you don't speak it, it's kind of like he doesn't speak, you got to learn it. It's the language to know. So speaking English gives you points. And if you go to other countries and we speak English already, we're good to go. Like in DR, in Brazil, they love us. Brazil's another place I want to go to. Spain, Brazil, and Ibiza, Spain, which is not only Spain. Man, we got to go there, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Definitely Spain, bro. Ibiza would be like a good summer island. Spain, the mainland, would be like good just to kind of travel, like with friends and maybe like possibly a group of friends, like
Just the
marries
whole,
and
yeah, definitely. It's something like traveling's phenomenal, man. 'Cause you can just learn so much too. Like each trip, you can definitely learn something. The most interesting people that I know are well traveled. They're the most interesting people I know. Are the
yeah, you
people that I
gotta.
know that are very, very well traveled. They've traveled to multiple spots. They have like, I don't know, they have so many stories. So I'm not saying you won't have stories if you don't travel, but I'm just saying some of the most interesting people I know are very, very, very well traveled. Uh, I would say.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, we'll definitely have to take some trips. It's on the bucket list. Like I said, now that I got the passport, international travel is definitely feasible.
yeah. I
So,
mean, like I said, bro, you got to travel. I like how you said that's true. People that live in other countries have something to tell, and people that have traveled have seen more things, so have been exposed to these things. And it comes down to that. If you haven't traveled like that, you won't really know. I mean, it's just you got to travel. I mean,
exactly.
depending
So
where you
guys,
go.
that's yeah, exactly. So to anyone out there who's watching this, if you're thinking about traveling, make the leap and travel. Because here's the thing, quote of the day right here. This is just a quote like that I've heard from multiple people. Travel while you can. The money will return. Time will not.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that
Money will
quote.
return. Time will not. So if you have the means, you can travel. Go ahead and travel. Take the time, travel, learn something new. Yeah, like it doesn't matter where you want to go. Just get out. Like you can't. Like that's the thing. If you stay in your hometown your whole life, you don't travel anywhere. Like you can only learn so much in your hometown. Like take the leap and travel. There's so many things to see out there. It's a very, very big world that we live in. There's so much to see.
There's
So
so
much to
many
see.
different factors, bro. The way people live in Albania, it's just or like in Italy, and just the classes there, like the classification of the people, where you are, who you're hanging out with. You could be even in some hood in like Italy or in Paris or some rough land and some slum, and you see things you might not see here. It's a little different. I mean, even in smaller countries, and don't be one of those people that are like, oh, you want to go to certain places, go everywhere. I would even encourage somebody even go in a smaller country. You might see like a poorer country, but guess what? You get to see the culture. You might learn something. So don't think like, well, this place is that it's shit. This and that is a shithole. No, no, no. Go travel. Forget what you've been said. What you heard. Just go out there, do the thing, bro.
Exactly.
Do what you got to do, because like you said, time will come back, bro, and your youth won't be back. Travel now, because the older you get, when you have kids and you get settled down, it's a little harder. They say. I mean, you can still do it, and depending on time and what you do, but it's harder with your kids because now you travel with the family. Where on your own is a little different, and it's harder.
Exactly.
I mean, limitations can limit you a little, can slow you down. School and job. So I think some of the best times to travel are between 28 and like 37, 38. But even after 30s and 40s, you can travel, but definitely travel like in your late 20s, early 30s. I travel more in my teens and in my like up to like the 20s, early 20s, and after that I didn't travel as much. And then more recently I kind of started going again. But in the last 2 years I haven't traveled much. But better days will show up. For sure, better days will come. I mean, this year wasn't much to travel and it was hard. Only the reason people travel because it got cheaper, like we mentioned earlier. Last year, 2019, I didn't have the best timing to travel. In 2017, I traveled a little. 2018, I traveled a little bit, and here I am. So
Yes, sir. So say all means aside, you got the money, you got the time, to take off, and say you got your trip booked. Everything's booked, everything's ready to go. You've booked online, you've got a solid 5 days carved out. You're going to the destination of your choice. So Everything's ready to go. So now you're going to have to deal with one of my favorite parts about this podcast in this episode, some of the hacks, the interesting parts that we kind of get into here. So how do you get through TSA quickly? How do you make the airport process as smooth as possible? And how are you going to pack? So everything's ready to go. You got your ticket. What's going to make so any tips that you have, George, in the airport get through the, I guess, the process to make the airport process as smooth as possible from when you enter the airport to when you go through security, TSA. It depends on obviously if you're having a bag check until you get on the plane and vice versa. Any tips?
I got stories for days, bro. I'm not gonna mention all the stories, or I mean, I'll probably get into a few things, but I'm not gonna obviously talk about everything. But because, like I said, I travel so much overseas, and not just overseas, but even like in the same country, playing here and there. Like I've traveled like one time, the most I ever traveled to by car in Italy, dude. I did almost the whole Italian East Coast. It's like driving from like Miami to like it's like my South Miami Beach, bro. You know what I mean? All the way to like say like Delaware, like about that much. That's how much I drove. I went from a city called Bari, Italy, by Puglia, which is like by off the coast. It's actually across from Albania, across the sea, all the way to Bologna. It's another city I've been to, and we'll talk about this later. We'll mention some cities that we've been to, nationally or internationally, doesn't matter. Uh, if you're gonna travel and like take the plane, or even if you want to take like a big trip, number one thing I do is plan it in advance. And I don't mean plan like the trip. That's obvious. That's already spoken for. We know that. Plan like what you're gonna like grab and wear like not the day of, the day before, or 2 days before. It's too late. At least 3 to 4 days before. I would say, let's just say you're gonna stay, hypothetically speaking, you're gonna go to like take the trip like DR, so overseas, but not too far away, couple hours, from the mainland USA.
Right.
And you're gonna go there for 5 days, right? I would say bring a couple pairs of clothes, and what you want to do is about three solid days before the trip, make sure you get all prepared and put in some kind of bag to the side, so you don't have to go and look in your closet and do all these extra, looking around and back and forth. So you have your stuff to go out. Bring the stuff for to sleep, whatever, pajamas or whatever you have. Put it somewhere in some kind of bag to put it, one of your bags. Make sure you get the small utilities, toothbrush, like maybe like I mean, you don't need pillows, but if you don't get a pillow to kind of sleep on the way, it's fine. A small pillow, definitely, like earplugs, Q-tip for your ears, whatever, to kind of, to clean up whenever you go out there for the bathroom and all that. Just small utilities. Also, like you said, buy a bag or something small. Like you bought. Remember, you bought one before Miami. You went out to the store the day before and you got one, right?
Yeah, I upgraded. So number one,
get one of those.
You need to figure out how long you're staying somewhere, where you're going, what the climate is. If you're just going somewhere for 3 to 5 days, I suggest not checking your bags. Number one, checking your bags is going to be it's just going to be an annoying process that if you don't need to go through it, don't go through it. Like just do carry-on only. So if you're flying on a plane, you get one carry-on bag, which you store in the overhead container, and you get one personal item. Now your personal item can be a book bag or a small bag. That's what I used if you're going to bring your laptop and stuff. So you're going to want one of these. You're going to want a carry-on bag. You can find these online. So right here, 9 by 14 by 22 is going to be the size you're going to need when you're flying. You can find these types of bags. This is a carry-on bag. I got this from Target. This was roughly $35-$40. It was relatively inexpensive. You're going to want something that has easy access and zipper pockets, things that you can, like, obviously you want something that you can pack your stuff in, and have a lot of space to be able to pack all that stuff in.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a carry-on bag. So like I said, carry-on is the easiest way to do it. It's the quickest way to get through security. You don't have to have any checked bags. So if you're just traveling 3 to 5 days, even a week, I think you can fit enough stuff in to get through with a carry-on. The challenging part comes with your liquids. There's a 3-1-1 rule when you're on a plane with a carry-on, right? So anybody who's traveled knows this. If you carry on, you got the 3-1-1 rule. Basically, you can't have any containers inside your carry-on that's more than 3.4 ounces. You can have one quart-sized bag, which is not very big, and you got one per person. You got to be able to fit that into your carry-on. Another hack, if you're looking for space inside your bag,
roll your clothes tight, right?
Roll your clothes. Yeah, roll them.
Or roll them. You can roll them up, like make some space in your carry-on, right?
Roll them for sure, because when you roll your clothes, you're going to get more space than if you fold them. And when you fold your clothes, you're going to have crease marks in them, and it's going to be, they can get wrinkled real easily. Another hack: use the space inside your shoes. So if you have your underwear, your socks, whatever, like small things you can roll up, fit them inside your shoes. It'll save space inside the bag. So like I said, you get a carry-on bag, you're going to want to store it in, you're going to store your carry-on bag in the overhead container. If you follow the rules when you're going through TSA, you're going to get through pretty quickly. Have your ID ready. If you're traveling internationally, have your passport ready. And take your shoes off. If you you know how you're going to be like travel with the bulkiest clothes. So if you're wearing a hoodie, you're wearing jeans, if you're going to a tropical climate, wear them. And just in case it gets chilly one night, wear your jeans and wear your hoodie to the airport. That way that doesn't count as what's inside your bag. And when you're coming home, do the same thing. There's definitely hacks to this. So you got to be, like I said, you have your carry-on bag. You just got to be a little bit smart about it. When you're going up, have your ID ready, have your passport ready, have your shoes already ready to take off, your belt. Don't wait till you get to the thing. Take it off already.
Definitely have your book in your hand, like to say your passport and all that. Don't keep them on like start looking, when the time comes, make sure you're kind of ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. You can keep the line moving. If you have a laptop, already have that ready to go. So in one of these pockets, I like to keep my laptop right in the zipper pocket so I can pull it right out. They're going to have to inspect it. You're going to have to put it into the bin separately. Don't bury your laptop at the bottom of your suitcase. It's going to be a hell of a hassle when you get up to the line and you have to take it out. So have that ready to go. Have that already ready to take out. And once you get through TSA, it's relatively simple once you have a carry-on. Another thing I would say, get your boarding pass on your phone. It's a lot easier. A lot of these apps nowadays, like American Airlines, you can just pull the boarding pass off. They'll send it to you 24 hours before, up to 24 hours before your flight. Go to the airport, your boarding pass is already ready. They can scan it in, have it ready to go. Real simple. I was in and out of TSA and through security, man, in less than 5 minutes when I was there. And it's real easy if you do it right. Know where you're going to park when you get to the airport. You want to know how to have everything ready to go. So just be smart about it. There's definitely ways around it. There's definitely ways to get through quickly. Just be smart.
Another thing I want to mention about that, bro, is for me as well, what I do is I make sure that if I'm with somebody else, sometimes, bro, you got to tell a person, come in a whole hour before. So just say the flight leaves at 11, but you guys will be heading there by 9:30. Tell them 8:30. Because sometimes with people you don't know, they might be late, and you do not want to be late and look for small things on that day. Make sure on the table, your passport, visa or whatever, ID, special, tickets and all that. They should be on the table. You should not be looking for them and leave them here because you know what happens? We create so much tension in our mind and stress, not stress everyday stress, just that pressure stress. Oh my God, today's a day. I gotta do this, and we do too much. We forget everything. You lose small things. You know how that happens sometimes. Even if you're organized, you forget where you put things. Very important to kind of identify where you're gonna have them. Get up early next day, get there already. Relaxed day, bro. Feel good, confident than usual. Get your coffee, get ready, and then take a nice trip. You know what I mean? Whether you Uber, get dropped off, get there 2 hours ahead of, at least 2.5 hours before the flight, depending on where you're going to. If it's overseas, you might need more rest. So, see, it's a thing too, bro. Overseas to domestic sort of flights, unless they're really far out, they defer a little because the distance and the time in a plane makes a big difference. You might be in a plane
Also,
just relax, you might sleep the whole ride, and it's 8-hour ride or 7 hours. I'll be at 7 hours. That's a lot.
Also, be aware that you have to go through immigration if you fly internationally. Also, be aware for that and account for the time for it, because you will have to go through immigration. When you're flying international, they don't play any games with that. So, there's definitely levels. They're just if you travel enough, you start to pick up on these little things. When you're flying and going through the airport process, it's really easy. Like I said, I prefer to just go carry on. Obviously, if I'm staying somewhere for 2 weeks, maybe I'll get one check bag. But obviously, if you're somebody who wants to carry, toiletries are your biggest thing. So that toiletries, I mean liquids. So your liquids that you have, you could have sunscreen, you could have moisturizer, shower gel, shampoo, any of your liquids. That's where it becomes tough. So some people want to bring a whole bottle of freaking shampoo. You can do that, but you're going to have to get your bag checked. See, because you can't have anything bigger than 3.4 ounces, and everything has to fit in that little quart-size bag when you're carrying on. But if you need all that extra stuff, you're probably going to have to pay for the check bag fees. And it's not even the fees to me, it's the time. My time's valuable. So I'd rather just be able to get through the airport like that and not have to deal with all that. But if you're somebody who likes to have like all their stuff with them. You know, you're an overpacker and stuff like that.
An overpacker.
Yeah, to each their own, I guess. But you're gonna have to get some. You're gonna have to get your bags checked at that point if you're trying to carry a lot of liquids. Believe me, it's tough, but I think in the end, I think it's worth it because once you get to your destination, you can just buy whatever you need. Personally, but in terms of I can't really recommend in terms of female what you're going to pack, but in terms of being a guy, what I would pack is it depends on your climate. So I just went to Miami. What I packed was I packed like 2 or 3 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of jeans, and then I think I brought like a bathing suit and then a few tops, like a few like t-shirts to wear and stuff like that. You just got to be smart and mix and match your outfits. As like a style person, like
Yeah.
just be smart, find outfits that work together. I would say 2 solid colored t-shirts, maybe a white and a black t-shirt, a polo shirt or a dress shirt, depending if you're going out somewhere fancy, and maybe like a sweater or a hoodie. It depends on where you're traveling. If you're traveling to a cold climate, obviously you're going to have long sleeve shirts, sweaters possibly, whatever you're wearing. But if you're going to a warmer climate, it's probably going to be a lot of t-shirts, polo, collared shirts, and stuff like that. But like I said, if you're packing heavy to a warm climate or wherever you're going, wear your heaviest and bulkiest clothes to the airport. That way they don't count as your travel. They don't take up the room in your carry-on bag, I guess you could say. I know you've been to an airport multiple times too, so you've seen all this, man. I know you've probably picked up some tricks along the way.
For sure. Like I said, definitely don't put stuff in the bag that you're gonna want to read, like a small book. Keep stuff in your pocket. I was driving it back in the days when they're like Walkman and CD players, and I remember last time I traveled is when the phones were starting to pick up. And you could have music on your iPod on your phone, like back in like the late 2000s, and that's like around the last time I traveled. So yeah, I was traveling in the early and mid 2000s a lot, bro, and late 2000s and even the 90s. It was a little different then because obviously technology has advanced so much. But yeah, same thing. Get there early, don't wait a second, preferably get dropped off. See, back like Uber didn't exist like 7 years ago. You only started existing about 5 years ago, something like that, or maybe yeah, about 5, 6 years at the most, as far as I remember. So obviously you can get Uber there. When you get there, bro, first thing should be first. Say your buys, your departure, your friends or whatever. If you're gonna go in, go through the costumes, and just one bag. If you're not gonna go too far away, and if you're a guy, you could be okay. I don't know, it might be a little different if you're a female, but you might not. Uh, some guys, like you said, do pack more. I personally have to bring things, but I don't bring too much, bro, unless I'm staying there more than 10 days. And realistically, I don't take vacation. I'm gonna stay more than 10 days, even unless I'm like on a vacation, or I go to Albania, like I, aforementioned earlier. And I was saying, because realistically, I'm not gonna stay in a country like more than 2 weeks, unless it's like really a big trip and I'm good, I'm chilling, I'm working a lot, got days off, I'm good, like my budget is fine. After 4 or 5 days, I'm like, where am I at? I gotta go back home and back to work. I mean, I'm just really, I mean, I like relaxing, but nowhere better than relaxing for me than like Albania or Italy, hands down, because I have a house in both places and I'm good. I mean, I'm treated really good out there. They love me out there, but I also know where to go. I mean, in Italy, I feel good and safe, but I live in Northeast Italy. I used to live. If you go somewhere else, you better have some euros and connections and get a nice hotel, bro. And yeah, you need a couple baggages. So I usually bring one or two. Like you said, I just try to kind of keep it on the plane. And my trick for me is I don't pack too much. And if I do bring something, it's mostly maybe like a gift if I see somebody. The rest is just my stuff. So I know what I'm gonna bring. I bring like two big, full bags. I fold them a certain way, and I just don't bring too many things that I more likely will not be using. That's it. I mean,
Do you
I'm not
carry
gonna
on, or
out there,
do you carry on, or do you do like a checked bag?
I used to do check bags, but I started doing carry on more recently. And last time I did, I actually had a small carry on. But again, it's been over 10 years, like 14 years. So
Check bags can be a pain in the ass depending on how long you're staying somewhere.
exactly, and with check bags, also a lot of times they get lost more often. If it's in a plane, you kind of put your luggage over here on top of the,
Yeah,
on the
it's not getting lost if it's a carry-on because
no,
it's
not,
it's right above you, and then your personal item bag, which is your school bag, as long as it can fit underneath the seat, it's fine.
oh,
That's where I would put your most valuable possessions. If you're gonna bring your laptop, your cell phone, your
I mean,
chargers, your iPad,
you know what it is? You can bring two of those bags. I mean, if it's like a book bag, like well, I don't
you're
know how to
allowed
tell
to.
you, but you can
You're
bring two
allowed
of
to because
them,
you can
yeah.
have one personal item, and your personal item can be a backpack, and you can fit all your stuff in the backpack. So as long as it goes under the seat, and then you also have your carry-on bag that you're going to put above where you're at to
Yeah.
make sure everything's good. So
I would say like your laptop and all that, you should definitely have it on a plane. It could kind of be on your plane, your laptop as you flying first class. That's boss moves, bro. And that's the thing. for the men's lifestyle, and one of the big episodes we're gonna do, we gotta talk about how boss men fly because you can do things in style. You gotta fly in style too. You can't just smoke cigar and be in vacation. You gotta know how to act in style.
Yeah, first class flights are a lot of money though. You got to have the means for sure. Don't buy first class flights if you can't afford it. Live
If you want to
inside
fly
your
first
means.
class, you put your feet up. The server is the best. You get movies, you get all the entertainment. The flight feels like a little ride. It doesn't feel like anything crazy, like a bus ride.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna
See,
show
I
you.
never flew first class, but I flew in some nice, expensive planes. I mean, similar to first class, but never actually first class. So I wouldn't know. Did you know some planes are see through? They're like literally see through, bro. You can see like after class, crazy. Some planes are so like the
Yeah, they're
color.
developing concepts for stuff like that, so you can kind of like see right through the plane. That's a little. I would like that, but I can imagine a lot of people wouldn't because that can be a little bit eerie if
You
you're.
do a little eerie, little and if the plane goes like this, you like, and you see it
Yes, sir.
psychologically, you can mess with your mind a little. You gotta be very careful. Some
Right.
people don't
I'm
like
actually
to.
gonna. I'm actually gonna show you how big like your liquids bag can be real quick. I'm gonna pull. I have it right over here. Just give me one little minute.
All right, hang on a second.
Just give me 2 seconds.
No problem, bro. I'm here.
So when you got your liquids bag,
That
it's
helps.
gonna look like this. It can only be like that big. See this, man? On the other side, your liquids bag has to be like this, man. It's got to
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
a little quart-sized bag. You fit all your stuff in there, and it's got to be like that. So you got to be smart about how you're packing, for sure. Man, I feel like we've hit a lot of things on traveling, like hacks. Is there any other hacks that you have, man, to like get through TSA or like when you land somewhere or like I guess I don't know. Do you have any other hacks?
Like I said, bro, it's always a little bit of a gamble, unfortunately. So my thing has always been, I don't take nothing super valuable, especially in. First of all, I don't bring it with me. I don't need to show off or bring nothing gets crazy. Like you might lose. First of all, second of all, keep it in a bag. Like you say, you keep the bag on, and you have the juice bag for the liquid bags and all. Keep it in your pocket, or like even bring one of those little bags that go like this, like around here, like you know what I mean, like the ones
Well,
that.
the liquids have to be in your carry-on, so you got to keep them.
You
They
got a
got that.
sleeping bag,
Yeah.
you got carry on. If you're gonna bring a carry on, bro, just keep the liquids in there and anything important, keep it somewhere you're not gonna lose it. But also, once you go somewhere else, see, I've lost things in a hotel before. I've been a bonehead, sloppy, mess things up. So I'll be very careful now when I go, and I don't bring nothing that's gonna I might lose. I bring things that I know I'm gonna probably need, I'm gonna use, or I need to have some, just to have them for the trip I'm going to, like either to show somebody or a gift or something like that. So, like I said, I just keep a bag on me if I'm just riding solo or traveling solo, and I just keep a carry on, maybe a checking bag one, because one is least likely to get lost in two or three. When it's to travel with family, we had four, bro, and then the waiting around for the bags, you might, we lost one in the past. Pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I like honestly, if you're only traveling for 3 to 5 days, a
You don't
carry
need.
on.
You
I
don't
mean,
need.
a checked bag is just not necessary, in my personal opinion. In my humble opinion here, I don't think a checked bag. I don't think a checked bag is even necessary.
No, no.
It's just unless you're staying somewhere for 7 days or longer, then I feel obviously with females it could be a little bit different, but I feel like as a man, just you can get all your outfits into one bag. You gotta mix and match. You can definitely be versatile. You can keep different types of shoes or whatever, and like different types of bottoms and different types of tops, and you can definitely be versatile. I would also suggest any valuables like accessories that you're gonna wear. If you have a watch, this is just my Apple Watch, but if you have any solid expensive accessories like watches, chains, keep them on you in your personal item bag, which is like your backpack. Keep that with you. I know someone. You have some nice watches as well, bro. You want to keep those watches close to you. You don't want any expensive items.
Right.
that can possibly shift on a flight.
Exactly.
Keep it smart. Keep it smart. Like I said, I think the biggest trick is just fitting everything in a liquid bag.
What
Well, we
the
touched a
chain,
lot of it
I
on
don't bring
travel.
nothing too expensive. I bring a chain and a watch, but like you said, you don't know. They could break, get lost, or stolen even. I mean, possibly, or mistaken, So keep it close to you. Don't bring too many chains. Bring one chain and a watch, a nice shirt, maybe a hat. And oh, one more thing. In a carry-on bag, you should have a small bag that's tiny for all your paperwork, like your passport and all that. You don't keep them in your pockets per se, and you don't put them in a bunch of bags. Keep like something in your neck. People used to keep cameras in their neck, tourists and all that. Keep something here to tuck your paperwork, your tickets. Your wallet got to be very secure because I mean you're on a plane. You could lose your wallet like that and your passport. You do not want to lose your passport because you're in trouble. Oh,
Yeah, you
keep a
definitely
close
want to keep your
passport.
valuables next to you and very close to you.
Yeah, values.
And that should ensure if you can follow all those rules, you get through TSA smoothly, you get to the airport on time, carry-ons, no check bags, smooth transition, smooth process, have your boarding pass already on your phone. Like I said, most of these companies like American
Yeah.
Airlines, Southwest, you can
And
pull
that's the
your
thing.
board.
You get it on your phone now. Back in the day, you didn't have the luxury to have on your phone like do these and oh yeah,
Yeah, now you might as well take advantage. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
your
see, like
pockets, your phone now.
you got like American Airlines, you can pull this up right
Yeah,
right on the
easy.
thing. You can pull your boarding pass up. It's the easiest way to do it. Keep it simple. Don't make things challenging. It don't gotta be challenging, bro. Like it's just
Yeah.
make it simple, man. You can definitely get through the process real easy. So I think we hit a lot of stuff on traveling. So we've picked our destinations, spots we want to go to, and the process to get there is going to be pretty smooth because we're
Okay, before we move
traveling G's.
definitely traveling. We're trying to be OGs and traveling, bro. But we're trying to make it happen. Before we move out of this topic, let's play this little me. We play this little games, bro. So we're gonna do this. Let's name 5 cities. It could be everywhere in the US, in the world, around here that we've been to, and then 3 spots that not suggestions, but like predictions of upcoming spots that in the next like few years that you're gonna go to the three next destination spots. So I'll go first. I'll name some cities and my next 3 locations I'm gonna go. So I'll start with the location. So in the next like 2 to 3 years or the next 2 years, 3 locations that I'll go. They're gonna be like big, vacation trips and sites. I want to be for sure. That I want to check out. So Miami Beach for sure. Miami, just Miami, Florida, number one. Chicago, number two, and possibly Orlando. I want to go to Orlando, number three. These 3 places are, you know, like
Okay,
big go spots.
interesting,
Also,
interesting.
another like a big honorable mention, which definitely all those overseas, but I definitely want to mention Spain. I want to go to Spain. Specifically, I want to go to Barcelona, maybe Madrid, because my sister's been in Spain and she told me great stories, and I need to go to Spain. I got a friend that goes there all the time. I know a couple chicks that go there. It's beautiful. It's like a heaven for you for like young life, for younger people to go and relax. In your 20s or 30s. The party scene there is amazing, from what I heard. A friend of mine who's Albanian had been there. He had been to like a house full of like almost like a real world type of house, different people, like going to school there, and he said it was amazing and it was really nice. So
Interesting.
yeah. Okay, so
Cool,
that's
man.
3 spots. Now, the 5 cities that are around the world, around here, in the US that I've been to that maybe it's been a while, but I have been to. Okay, and without counting Philly, because obviously I live here. So Rome, Italy, that's number one. Buffalo. I've been to Buffalo, New York, number two. I've been to what's it called? I've been to Ithaca, New York as well. It's a small city, but still a city. I've been to a city called Udine, Italy. I actually lived there, but not there. I lived a little bit more in the suburbs, but close enough to there. And another city I've been to is New York. And I've been to, like I said, I've been to Albania. I've been to Tirana, and I've been to a city called Vlora, which is like a beautiful city in Albania. It's by the Albanian Riviera. I guess Maris about it. It's a beautiful place to go to. These are some of the places I've been to, and of course, some of the places I mentioned earlier, which I already mentioned. And these are it. What about you, bro? How about 5 cities you've been to in the U.S. or whatever, like in the
Or
States?
where I want to go in the next
No,
couple of
where
years.
you been? You have been, not where you want to go. Where you been already?
Where I've
Yeah,
been to in the U.S. I've been to Manhattan, New York. I've been to Orlando, Florida. I've been to Miami. I've been to North Carolina, for like a couple cities there. I've been to Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, good city.
I've
Yeah,
been to Baltimore,
bye
Maryland.
bye.
I've been to Ocean City, Maryland. I've been to multiple spots. Throughout Jersey. I've pretty much been up and down the east, the up and down the coast of Jersey, completely.
Solid.
Uh, New York. I've been to
We're in
upstate New York.
Hoboken together.
Yeah, I've been to Jersey City. I've been to upstate New York. I've been to Manhattan, Brooklyn, pretty much any spot around Manhattan. I've been to Harlem, the Bronx,
Queens,
Queens. Yeah, any of those
Bronx.
spots. Like I said, Orlando. Like I haven't been anything on the West Coast, so that's where I know you talked about 3 cities domestically that you want to fly to. So in the next couple of years, not even a couple of years, probably this year, man. Spots that I'm definitely looking to go to:
Yeah.
Las Vegas, California, so Los Angeles, California, LA, Hollywood, Cali, and Chicago. An honorable mention, I would say, would be domestically Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado, I heard, is beautiful,
sure.
and it's like, and you could definitely. I'm someone who enjoys hiking, and we're going to get to that thrill-seeking part in the next spot. We're going to be coming up very, very quickly. Um, so Colorado for the hiking spot. I would definitely love to go to Colorado. Internationally, I would say my first spot's probably going to be Italy, just because that's definitely on my bucket list to fly to Italy. That would be my first one internationally,
Yeah,
for
Italy is
sure.
definitely a place to go. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
we're gonna have to plan that out more often or more thoroughly. But like I said, the reason I said 3 spots in the next like 2 years, because realistically, in 2 years, you could definitely go to like 3 nice spots in the US, and then say like in 2 years, because next year, I mean, it's a coming year, what's going on with COVID, we might not be able to travel overseas as much as quickly as we think we're going to travel. That's all. I mean, to be realistic.
Right. I'm
So
thinking about I'm thinking about doing Cali and Vegas next month.
2022. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Domestically,
We'll
you're good.
see.
I'm talking about out of the country, overseas.
Oh yeah, overseas for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, everything else is good to go. I mean, like Cali, what's Cali like? I mean, let's be real. What's the price to go to Cali? Like $400 to go there. My friend told me spend $300 there just for 2 days in LA.
Do it smart. Do like if you're gonna do
Full
Cali, like
package.
what I want to do is I want to do a two birds one stone type of scenario. So I want to take a week of it, where I would do probably either 4 or 5 days in Vegas. So predominantly the time in Vegas, and I would take like 2 to 3 days in Los Angeles. So while I'm on the West Coast, Vegas is really cheap, man. Like I've been finding stuff for like $350 for 5 days. Staying at the Caesar's Palace, and getting that's with a round trip flight included. So just be smart about it. If I'm in Vegas, I'm probably getting a rental car as well. So it's proper planning, my man's.
Definitely, bro. We got to plan it. For me, like I said, Miami Beach, Orlando, Vegas. I mean, obviously, I've been to like AC. I've been to New York. I've been all over New York. On the east side of Manhattan, Lower East Side, LES. I've been to Brooklyn. I got family in Brooklyn. I got friends in Brooklyn. I got buddies there, and a lot of people that live out there. In Dumbo, Brooklyn, and Bay Ridge, Queens. Around Queensbridge, around Jamaica, Queens. You know, parts of over there. I got friends and cousins. Astoria. Last time I was in Queens was last year, 2019.
Interesting.
So, yeah, but I mean, for me, it will be definitely Vegas and Miami are 2 spots, and other places like that. I would like to travel. Like I said, Chicago for sure. I mean, LA, San Fran, or just the Bay Area would be a great place to kind of visit. There's so much to do in your stay in your city, bro. So, I mean, you can go to Jersey and kind of go to nice spots in Jersey and just have a nice little small trip, or you go to like Maryland, excuse me, or somewhere out like in Ohio, Indiana, and just be okay there. So, you know,
Exactly.
you're traveling, you're seeing things. What else could go, what else you don't do? I mean, what could go wrong? You'll get lost a little if you drive. But I do want to say one thing though. I want to take the time to say if you're gonna drive out of town and in 2, 3 states, like last time I travel out of state, like far, far away. I was actually in Delaware last weekend, which I told you about that. I was near Middletown, Delaware. But in 2017, I went down south and we took a 12-hour drive and we left at approximately 5:30 in the morning, bro. I remember we left. It was May. It was right day after my birthday. We met early. We were in Virginia by like 8:30, and we got some breakfast at a Texas Roadhouse in Virginia, and we chilled there. It was nice. I mean, Virginia has huge land masses and open lands and
Yeah, yeah.
mountains.
Virginia's very, very big. I've been to Virginia. I got family in Virginia.
Yeah, I got some cousins there too, bro. Some distant cousins, yeah, for sure, and relatives. I actually got family in DC and Baltimore, ironically. So I got more family in Maryland, but also in Virginia, and I got some acquaintances and then pretty good friends in like North Carolina, South Carolina. When I fought in North Carolina, I made some friends there. Some of the guys that I fought there at the gym at the venue, so I got some connections there through like MMA and wrestling and catch wrestling and all that. North Carolina is very nice, bro. It's very nice there. The girls are very cute there. the area is so cool. Yo, it was no place to walk like in the street. There's no sidewalks. I'm like, well, I'm from Philly. What is this? No sidewalks. Well,
It's yeah, I've been there as well, man.
yeah,
It's a different animal.
it's a different vibe. It depends where you are. I don't mean like there's no sidewalks. This is the place I was at was a very small place, and there weren't too many sidewalks. It was like a small town by the highway, very rural. It wasn't really urban. But yes, some cities. I was in Nashville. No, Asheville. But you have Durham. You have, I mean, I think there's a city called. Where's the city called? Not there's a city called like Columbus somewhere in the south. Not Columbus, Ohio, but somewhere else. There's a city down there. Columbia, maybe I want to say. I don't know, but it's definitely a city somewhere in the Carolinas, like or maybe Georgia. I want to say. I don't remember exactly where.
South Carolina, I believe.
I think yeah. See, South Carolina. Charlotte, of course, and Charlottesville, which is in Virginia. Charlotte is in South Carolina. Durham is big. Wilmington, North Carolina is also big. Yeah, no, they got cities there. There's definitely a lot of places in the Carolinas in down south, bro. So I like Georgia. Never been to northern Florida near the border with Georgia, but it's very southern like. Good food, a lot of good fried food, a lot of country places, a lot of woods, a lot of history behind there. Of course, New Orleans is up there too. I mean, Florida. Let me ask you a question. You've been in two places in Florida. You've been in Tampa, Orlando, you said, and in Miami, or where have you been?
In Florida, I've been to. So in Florida, I've been to Orlando. I've had a layover in Tampa Bay, and I've been to South Beach. I've been to downtown Miami, and I've been to South Beach, Miami. So the beach of Miami.
Okay.
So I've been to quite a few spots. I've been to Orlando twice, Disney World. Orlando's another beautiful spot.
Never been to Orlando, so or Daytona. Daytona Beach is beautiful from here. Very nice.
Yeah, Clearwater too. Clearwater for Philly spring training. I heard everybody talks about it. It's fucking beautiful. And another spot is Fort Lauderdale, which actually isn't even that far from Miami. So definitely not some bad spots. If you're definitely thinking about if you're thinking about doing Florida, I highly recommend it. But as we're kind of pushing that time here, I think the travel spot. We'll definitely have traveling in the future. We'll have some more things to talk about, but we're going to get to the second portion of our podcast tonight on the Locked In Podcast, episode 7. Let's keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, bro. Let's keep it rolling for sure.
So we're going to go with the adrenaline junkie side of this one. So anybody who's out there who's a thrill seeker, anybody who is you're trying to get an adrenaline rush, whatever it is, you do shit that's fucking crazy. We know there's some crazy activities out there that you guys can do. So me and George, we're going to walk through things that we've done personally from our end, what we've experienced, and things that are on our bucket list. I know that you have some as well, George, as I do. And I'm sure that anybody who's out there who's watching, who's an adrenaline junkie, you definitely got some bucket list things.
We got some
definitely having some experiences to share. So if you have anything to share, comment down below and let us know what you've experienced. So let's hop into this one.
So, like I said, so let's bring us to the second part of the show, the subtopic. And this is going to be a little special show. So, again, it might go a little over, but like I said, we're going to just mention a few things. Now, as far as like activities that are kind of like adrenaline rush, adrenaline seekers for, adrenaline junkies. Not that we're adrenaline junkies, but I mean, I definitely have a little in me though. I would say I love some of these things, and you only live once. You got to try some stuff that I like. Stunts that are not dangerous, but they're kind of over the top a little bit. The little everyday things like, from parachuting to parasailing to skydiving, they're all welcome for me. Here's a few things that I've done, and also a few things that I want to do. So things that I've done that are like, sort of like adrenaline full and adrenaline rushing type of activities are. I've done obviously the roller coasters and rides and all that. King of Cod, which is a big one. Of course. That's obviously a big one. I've done boat rides out like on about, we actually went out far. You see, I've been able to kind of stop somewhere and dive in the middle of the water, like probably 1,000 feet deep, maybe more. I don't know how deep it was, but very deep. Definitely deep enough where you can't see the land. You're all the way out there, so you're a couple miles out in the sea and you don't know what the fuck is there. Could be sharks, maybe not. I mean, where I was at, it was in Albania years ago. I remember taking my sandals off because I didn't want to jump on sandals and lose them. So I dove in, swim, right back up. I was like, I'm good enough. I said, I looked down, man, the deepness. I was like, whoa. And when you dive from the boat, I mean, you already dive this much in, so you can cover the surface. And I'm a good swimmer, so I didn't use a life jacket. My friend did though. And I believe we're about 3 miles away. Yeah, 3 miles out to sea, which is not a lot, but it's not enough to your mind be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Whoa, you know. Like if I was in the States, I'd be like, I might not be able to do that. There's a lot of sharks out there that might go after me. But then again, it's just an activity. It doesn't mean that there's gonna be sharks right in the air. People swim, people dive in deep waters all the time. They dive off yachts. The celebrities do what the hell they want to do. So
Exactly.
I had one of those days. Other things I've done. Let me see. I've jumped off a bridge in the water, but it was a river. Though. It wasn't like it was an immediate old bridge. It was actually somewhere on P. I can't remember what it was at, but it was like 7 8 years ago. I went with my friends, some of my other friends, right? I went out there and it was like you kind of like go on this bridge and you kind of lean down and you just jump with your feet. I remember I jumped with like I took my shoes off, but like my clothes on though. Like I had like a shirt. It wasn't like my actually, 'cause I was kind of like I had some chunks on there because we're like supposed to swim there, except the water wasn't that good. So we just ended up jumping there. It was deep enough. I think let me see. I jumped. I want to say like it was probably like 25 feet, close to 30 feet, which is it's a nice amount. It's high enough. It's not like super high, but it's pretty scary. It's pretty fun. And also, I've done cliff jumping and cliff diving in Albania, and there's a whole different story. There's rocks there. You kind of do it at your own risk. If you're doing that, if you're jumping there in the wrong place and you go into the rocks, you're done. So a couple kids dove. I only dove from like 20 feet, and I jumped from about 35 feet, and ran and I jumped my feet, and I'm like, so I fell in the water. Luckily, there's no rocks there, but we also swim by the rocks. And I got this thing there where it's deep water. It's like off the coast. So it's about, say you're going about 20 yards out to sea. And I got this thing that floats in the water, it's a big piece of metal. So you can actually jump on that. It's like a big thing that floats. So it's like they measure the deep there. So it's a surface of like about the size of my room, right? You get on there real quick, climb up the stairs, and you jump and you're back in the water. And I actually have a picture on Facebook, one of those places of people are diving. People not being a dive all the time, bro. They dive off the cliff, they dive off like the smaller cliff of boats. Diving off a boat is nothing. Like you're diving off like 10 feet or something like that, or 5 feet. Diving off 25 feet could be a little more. And again, if you're not a good diver, don't dive. Just jump with your feet. Go like this, like straight like this with your feet close to you, like what I mean. Don't dive with your. If you dive the wrong way, you can break your neck today. You can fuck up. So I mean, so that I've done, but I just haven't done from a very big distance yet. I've seen people dive way different. I mean, when I was there in '05, this one little kid, he was way smaller than me and way younger. He ran, he dove like a fish. He went like this, like instead of going like he went like this and then in the water. He didn't go like this all the way because if you plunge with your head, dude, you might fuck your head up. You got to really go and dive a certain way. Luckily, the waters are deep enough where you'll be okay and you'll be safe. So, but in Albania, a lot of kids definitely go in quicksands or they dive the wrong way and they definitely get killed. I mean, you hear a lot of news there about a kid who got who was lost at sea, drowned, he got hurt, he died because he went in the wrong place. So you gotta be very careful. You gotta go with people that know what they're doing there. Like they can tell you where to go. And also cliff diving and cliff jumping is very popular in Hawaii. Speaking of Hawaii, like Maui and all that, in Hilo, Hawaii. You gotta go there.
Oh yeah, that's what I
Also,
heard. I heard that's
yeah,
it's a big cliff diving spot.
good diving spot. But also surfing is big there because I mean, you cannot compare Hawaii and Albania and Florida and all that to like the Jersey Shore, the shores around here.
Oh, sir. Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Different worlds, bro. Italy's the same way. You have a trampoline, a dock to dive. So you're diving like if you're diving like 8 feet, it's perfect. Right? You can dive with your feet. I mean, Albania people wait in line to go up there. And they always get back out the water, dude. It's a weird story. One time, bro, I was gonna fight. They're waiting around on to go in and dive, in by the trampoline in the sea in Albania, like back in like '04, I think it was. Long story short, it was like some dude's getting weird, like with my sister, my cousin, and there's girls are talking shit to him. So I go up there like, yo, dude, we got a problem. What's up? He's like, you ever got a problem? I was like, what's the problem? What's the issue? He's like, well, this and that. I was like, yeah, they're females. I said, why don't you wait for them? And we got a little loud, but nothing really happened. But I was ready, bro. I was ready to get going right then and there, bro. I didn't give a shit. I would have tossed the dude right in the sea. But it's cool. Nothing really happened. It's waiting in line. He was just trying to be a hard ass. I wasn't having it. I was like, "What the problem? What's up? What's your problem, huh?" I said, "We got a problem here." He's like, "Yeah, you got a problem." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You're talking to my sister and my cousin like a certain way. What's up with that? I don't appreciate talking to her." He's like, "Oh, they're telling me to get in line." This and that. I'm like, "Yo, let them go first, man. They're ladies. What kind of men are you?" And it all worked out. Nothing happened. Good thing. But yeah, it was a little weird situation. And you don't want to fight by the sea because then if you start grappling the water, you don't want to do the push your head in the fucking water. So you gotta be very careful, bro. But yeah, it gets real there, bro. People that jump because you climb up and then you're diving from the like about 10 feet. So yeah, and the water's there. I believe is about 15 feet deep, so it's perfect. You don't actually hit the ground. You can dive in, and you're pretty far out. So
Interesting, man.
yeah. So that's some spots I've done. Now, what I want to really do, bro, that I haven't done yet off my bucket list, as far as extravagance and crazy activities, and and some adrenaline filled activities are budget jumping. With the rope. I want to do that for sure one day. I mean, it's a little scary, but I think I could do it, and I would like to do it. Skydiving for sure. That's the closest one. I think that I'm gonna do that one. I feel like probably soon, like maybe next summer. I always want to say like this summer, but it's just to find the right people to go with. So I want to conquer. I want to get over the fear and conquer the sky. Why not? You only live once. Why not say you done it one time? You actually skydived.
Exactly. Those are some
That
good bucket list ones, man.
thank you.
And I really like the ones that you've experienced so far.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. Interesting.
So
Uh,
yeah, well the ones I've done, I mean, I was lucky when I was younger, I did them, but I got some good ones in here. Okay, this is gonna laugh at this one. Okay, I said backward roller coasters, the ones that kind of go backwards like this, like they take you like in the air, like in the videos that the celebrities do. I want to do that one. I haven't done. I haven't really done that one. I've done King of Cod. I've done a lot in Jersey at Six Flags. I've done different ones, but I haven't done that one yet. Another one that sounds funny and it's like a crazy activity. I want to go somebody in a boat and shark hunting and shark scene. Not so much shark hunting, but definitely seeing sharks like in the deep waters. I wouldn't do that. I don't know why. I just want to. I don't know about a cage. Yeah, that's a little beyond, but definitely see the sharks from like you're here in a boat. You can see sharks down here. I want to do that. Shark scenes, shark discovery, shark hunting, whatever. I mean, if you catch them, kill them, go back in the water. People sometimes catch it only to kind of test them out to see how big their jaws are and their teeth, and they do it to take a little small sample of skin and they let them back in the water.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you don't gotta hunt sharks. I mean, because I'm not really a big one on hunting like for sport for trophy. I mean, whatever. I've been hunting before, but never really ocean. I've been fishing once or twice, but it's fun. And obviously been out to sea, which is pretty cool. But you have too though, so and you did in Florida, so
Yeah,
you did Miami.
exactly.
So let me see. Okay, skydiving.
Another one I recommend for you is parasailing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually don't have that on my list, but definitely parasailing. That's an honorable mention. Parasailing.
That's fun as
Uh,
shit.
Sky gliding will be kind of cool. It's a little scary, but yeah,
Scott, look, what do you mean, like base jumping?
when you glide, hang gliding, like hang glide, you go like this. I think is like not jumping, it's like when a little thing like instead of a rope line.
Yeah, that's dangerous as hell.
Scary as fuck. But if you do in the water, it's very dangerous. If you fall, oh
You gotta know what you're doing.
yeah. So I think that's one. Is that what a hang gliding is? I think it is that, or the rope, or are you kind of like going like this with the little flying here? That's dangerous when you're flying. Like
Yeah, they have
oh,
base jumping where you're in like the wingsuit, where you just base jump like in a wingsuit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm okay on that one right now. I might do that somewhere in the sea, but
Nah, base jumping is the most dangerous thing there is to do in life. There's so many deaths that occur
yeah,
with base jumping.
I don't want to, because if you're not experienced, dude, I don't want to gamble my life, so I'm cool on
You
that
be
one.
going through a mountain. If you just hit one bad thing, you're gonna go freaking flying. You're done.
I'd rather go skiing than that. Skiing is kind of a crazy activity, especially like in steepy places. That's more fun to me. I have no ambition to jump from one place to another and potentially fall. What about like rock climbing? Or people do like the what do they call like those lines? They walk those long lines between cliffs
A
and
tightrope.
safe rope, and then you can fall. You fall in a little thing it's like a little thing that holds you.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So you don't. It's not very dangerous,
Are you
but
talking about like tightrope? Oh, are you talking about over the sea? Oh, like a tightrope over the sea. That's called slacklining.
slack line, right? But I'm talking about
Slacklining.
over cliffs. Like there's the big rope. And you can kind of like a long rope, like this long. You
That's
can walk the
crazy.
rope, two ropes, or you could climb it like this. Like you kind of climb it, and
That seems fun as shit though. Like
but then there's
slacklining,
a
I would
net,
love to do that.
right? There's a net. If you fall in the net, you're good. So you can kind of climb on the net, so you're good. I mean, but if
Oh
there's a
yeah,
net there, you're
dude.
done. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's like this. Look, there's here like this. It's a big rope, and then under the ropes, like you can walk like this or climb the rope like a mountain climber. But if you fall, like literally like 3 feet underneath it, like if you fall, there's a big net that holds you, so you're not gonna actually fall, but it's still very scary because then you're gonna climb up to go to the next. And just ideas crazy. And then you have the movie that was made about the guy that he walked the two buildings, the two twin buildings. He walked the rope, the thin ass line. The guy that walked it like this, like he walked it like this,
There was a guy that did it over a volcano just recently.
like that. Yeah,
There was
yeah,
a
I heard
guy.
about that
There,
one.
there was a guy that did it over a freaking volcano, bro.
Yeah, it's extreme. I mean, yeah, I don't know how extreme you want to get with these. There's only a limit, that you could do. I mean, you can do a few things, but how much, the more the funner. I mean, the more the merrier. But how much crazier can you get than that? I mean, how much more dangerous? there's some things you don't want to play around with. And with volcano, I mean, I think I'll pass right
Well, that
now. I
guy's
mean,
also an experienced stuntman. Like those people have been through it. Like they started with small stunts and they worked their way up. They're highly
work their way up.
trained. That's a whole other thing.
Years.
Like
They
it's
know
one
they're
thing to be it's one thing to be an adrenaline junkie, but it's another thing to be a stuntman. Like you're just that's a
it's all
whole
another
nother
topic and whole another story. I actually
stuff.
was trained to be a stuntsman, but you have stuntmen for movies and like stunts like that. You have stuntmen like life stunts, like extravagant, crazy activities. But stuntsmen in movies gotta get a license, and you do stuff like jump out of helicopters, jump in the sea, do flips, do because the actor, say you're a stunt for like Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible, you gotta do some stunts because he doesn't do his own stunts unless you're
Yes,
Jackie
sir.
Chan, you do your own stunts.
Exactly.
You don't care. I mean,
So exactly.
one more thing, bro, before I let you turn, because I mean we gotta keep moving real quick. So the last but not least, you're gonna left with this one. This is very scary in its own and very dangerous, and you do kind of like in a way it's a gamble. But I just feel like it'll be kind of cool to do it, just to give it a try, because he might be okay. Running with the bulls in Spain on the festival, the bull festival they do every year.
Oh, that's a
Close things
dangerous
down
one.
and you ride, you just run. A bunch of dudes are running, there's all these bulls. I would do it to an extent, but I would just hide in a small street. I'd rather just, I don't want to run too many bulls. I think it's like three bulls, and then all these dudes are running. And if you trip, that bull will come and hit you. So yeah, you could die too.
Exactly. That's an interesting one, man. That's
But
an
you know what?
interesting one.
I think that's easier. That's better. I mean, would you do that though? You have a chance to still running and hiding somewhere for the bull, then falling in lava, or I mean, having the heat burn you. Even if you don't fall in lava, all the heat there, it could give you dizzy. Or the wingsuit and what's it called? When you jump in the air, what's it called? The wingsuit, the dangerous one.
It's base jumping, like in the
Yeah,
wingsuit base jumping.
I feel like wingsuit brace jumping dude is more scary and more dangerous than running with the bulls in Spain with a bunch of with like 100 dudes. You're running with like 100, 200 dudes where you're just running, and now you're doing this.
Base jumping is the most dangerous thing you could do, dude.
I know.
That's no joke, dude. Yeah, if you
Bungee,
wingsuit,
bungee jumping, bungee jumping, or hanging from a rope, hanging in a helicopter. I mean, like chariots or something like that. Getting dragged in the water. Doing also like what's it called? Like when a boat pulls you, and you're doing like water skiing. Water skiing. I mean, you can do it in a lake. You just gotta be careful because you don't know what's out there too.
jet skiing is an extreme sport too, man.
Yeah, jet skiing. Would you jet ski or by yourself in a thing?
Yeah,
Because
I've already jet skied before.
yeah, you did it in the Delaware, but it's different. Somebody pulls you in a boat, like in the movie Jaws 2.
No, I've been pulled too. I've done it up the mountains and stuff on the lake.
Hmm.
I've
What
been too.
about the rope thing? Like in it, remember? Like Tarzan, he fell in the river, like off a rope.
Oh yeah, rope swing. I've done rope swing stuff before too. Yeah, man. Like some of the things I've done, like I've done some cliff jumping. So like the Indian Head Trail up in Pendle, a little hidden spot for you guys out there. It's about a 20-foot jump. It's not that big, but it's off like a little cliff. It's up in Pendle. It's not far from Philly. It's at the Indian Head Trail. You can do like some little cliff jumping up there, man. And it's also actually not a bad spot that you can get some hiking in as well. You get to the end of the trail, jump off the cliff. It's real nice. Some other things I've done, like I could say roller coasters too.
Hardcore. Sorry,
Coasters
no,
I've
I'm kidding.
obviously done.
Hardcore.
Like I said, jet skiing. Jet skiing is definitely a fun one. Tubing's fun. They're not like super daredevil like, but they're definitely fun. I would say go karting. Like I've done like extreme go karting where like you
Bro.
go karts go like
Paintballing is fun. I mean, it's a little
go
different,
50,
but
60
paintballing is a good
miles
one.
an hour. Yeah, paintballing's another one. I've only done paintballing one time. Paintballing's fun as hell too. It's
You gotta come
definitely
out with
a thrill-seeking thing. Some of the things I want to do are bungee. Like you said, man, two of them you mentioned, bungee jumping. Definitely a little bit more on the dangerous side. You got to watch because obviously if you go wrong way, you could hurt your neck or something. You got to be careful with bungee jumping. My main one I want to do skydiving. There's no doubt about it. I want to do skydiving, and I feel like if I do it once, I'm going to want to keep doing it. So skydiving, from what I know, you can go the first 3 times you have to go with an instructor, and then after you can get like a license to go by yourself.
Yeah, bro.
That's the ultimate daredevil move when you jump out the plane by yourself.
It's very much fun.
At that point, so skydiving's a big one, man. Another one, canyoning. Canyoning, when you're like, it's also called grope walking. So you're swimming through pools of rocks, jumping through cliffs. You can make it a real crazy thing.
It's like an obstacle course.
What's that?
It's almost like an obstacle course, but to the extreme.
Yeah, you're going through like pools in the mountains and stuff. It's like it's crazy stuff, man. Canyoning is fun as hell
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
What about like when you become like a human bullet, like you get a shot from a cannon, like any kind of thing.
Oh man,
That's
that would be
crazy. Can
fun
you
as
imagine that? That
hell.
okay one, but people have done it, and then you jump like this point, and you fall in the net, like your body just like you fly in the air.
You're like, you
Yeah,
get
you're like this. The
shot.
cannon just shoots you. Like I know
Like
people have done it in movies, bro. People have been set on fire in the movies. Like literally, they'll set you on fire for 2 seconds, and they'll spray you real quick. Like in movies,
introducing G, the human cannonball.
catapult, catapult it. They'll catapult you like this, bro,
Oh
like this, right?
man.
Or they'll just shoot you in a cannon. I ain't shot no cannon. Fuck all that with a cannon. Like I'm not a cannonball. The
What
human
if you just
cannonball.
go like this and you just let it shoot you out? Like you go rolling.
Yeah, you shot, and then your face, and you hit the wall. You hit like a mirror. I think you go in a net, and they do like in deserts, because if you fall, it's like it's not a big fall. It's like a lot of dust, because you don't get hurt, I guess, if you fall from a big distance in a lot of sand. It's more cushy. But if you fall on rocks, you're fucked. And you'll get caught. They'll catch you. I mean, you get shot like this. You get shot like, and then you'll fall there. That's extreme. I'm okay with that. I don't get shot of a cannon. Don't shoot me with a cannon.
Oh man, that'd be funny as hell.
That'd be hilarious. Imagine your face. You're like,
Gee, what if they said introducing George, the human cannonball?
yeah. Did somebody do it in one of the? I think the Simpsons they did it or something like that. I forgot who it was. It was definitely an episode. Somebody was doing, like Homer did it once, and Homer was stopping cannonballs with his stomach in one episode like this because he had a stomach.
Oh man.
In the Simpsons, remember?
Yeah.
I think one of them, it was Mike Tyson in there, and Homer was a boxer, and he could beat anybody because he had a big metal head. Like anybody would hit him, and they would get tired, and he would knock him out. And then he fought Mike Tyson. The Mike Tyson looked like a guy from jail.
Oh geez.
They did it on The Simpsons. They like a fake Tyson dude. And he was like a Bill like Tyson. He's a boxer, heavyweight boxer. Obviously, they were inspired by Tyson. I mean, why else would they do that episode? Remember? And Homer would eat, and he had like he'll take punches here and like this, and you get hit and hit and hit, and then guys will tire out, and you just touch them and they'll fall.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like the older episodes. It's way older because I don't really watch The Simpsons as much, but definitely good show.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Some other things I like to do, man, like I'd say like just like extreme hiking. So I'm someone who loves nature. I like hiking. I love climbing some spots. The highest elevation spot I've ever been was like 3,000 feet, but I would love to like do some extreme hiking. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to the point where I'm going to climb Mount Everest, which is crazy. Like you got to be. That's a whole nother thing. It'd take a month to climb Everest, at least. But you'd obviously have to get certified. You have to have climbed other mountains before you can even get to Everest. You have to be able to. There's ways.
About the leap of the leap, bro. You cannot crawl. I'm sorry. You cannot run and jump and do big, like the forward jumps in Olympics if you can't crawl. I mean, or jump over the, over the stick, the highest jumping. In other words, I say it to say this: if you don't do Mount Everest, you better have some fucking hiking, or at least some climbing experience in small rock, like small cliffs here, like local, let alone in the mountain.
Yeah, you can't climb Everest if you don't have climbing experience. You have to be able to show them what you've climbed before that. You can't you're not allowed to climb Everest unless you get like waivers and signed off.
Yeah. Some people have done it. There's been a lot of they call them the Alpines in Italy, the Alpini, which means like they're mountain people. They climb things and they'll go around towns and do things on their own. Like they have their own communities. They own their own little halls where they'll eat, and they'll keep those funny hats, and they'll climb in Italian Alps. Like they'll climb mountains. To be a great, you could be either a mountain climber or a rock climber, like a cliffhanger, basically a cliffhanger now, like in like Stallone and shit, like in that movie. So you need experience for that, bro. And yeah, your life is very. I mean, you're constantly in danger, dude. I mean, you only live once, bro, and you live with a sword, kind of die with a sword. I mean, a lot of things have happened. Climbers have lost their lives. Bikers, have fell, but also motorcycle guys, also motorcycle riding. I'm big on motorcycles now. I don't ride as much, but I fell from a bike in July. I fell from a bike. I still have my scars. Yeah, it's fun. Bike riding is fun. But when it comes to doing the flips in the air and doing freestyle things, I'm okay with that. Like I can barely do wheelie. I can't be doing all that freestyle biking or motorcycle biking. Motorcycles.
Right.
I can ride motorcycles. I just can't do like big trails or like what I mean, like go for and do like tricks and all kinds of like cool stunts with motorcycles.
Right. Would you ever go ice swimming?
Never done it. Well, I put my hand in ice before, like in a really cold place. But
I mean, like jump in like an ice pond. Would you ever go like ice swimming?
I'll try. I just don't want to freeze to death, but I'll try, dude. It depends on how the right people.
That'd be a little crazy.
Yeah,
ice swimming, man.
I'll probably take an ice bath before I do that. But if you can take an ice bath, what's the difference? If you can do that, I mean, I think you could do that. That's
What
more.
about like swimming with the sharks? Would you go down below in the cage with the sharks?
Would you?
Ooh,
I,
I
I,
would. I would.
you say you would?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let me see. Depending on the shark, if they're like there's experts there and it's like a small aquarium and they're not really harmful sharks, I probably would. I would swim with sharks, bro, but I'd rather be in a gate. I mean, if I'm in a gate, like in a cage and looking at sharks, is
That's
one
what I
thing.
mean. You're being the cage.
Oh yeah, that's cool. But if just swimming with sharks, and they're like small sharks, they don't really hurt you, like like not great whites, the smaller ones, I probably would. But the great whites, I'm gonna have to pass. I'd rather just looking for a boat.
Okay, I got one for you. You're in the cage in great whites.
Yeah, in a cage, I would do it. I mean,
Even with the great whites, you would.
I think I would, but it's gotta be a big cage, and I gotta be very.
They'll smack that cage. You could go flying and.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
no, because like I think this much space. They stick their nose in there and they can smack the cage, so you can move. But then
I'm
I go.
saying you'll go like back and forth.
Yeah, you could. It's
They
definitely very
keep
dangerous.
shaking
I
the
mean,
cage.
I just don't trust great whites. Not
Would you
much of
ever?
a shark you can trust. You cannot charge the shark face.
Would you ever go to the rodeo? Would you ride a bull?
That one I thought about.
It's like ride a bull. You get
I feel like
thrown
I could
off.
do that. I feel like I mean, not that I'm good at that. I probably would try, but I would fail it. I mean, it's like riding a crazy horse. You're not gonna. I rode a donkey before and a horse. I mean, I never rode a bull though.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I,
Would
I
you?
would do rodeo. I would do rodeo,
Oh,
skateboard.
I got a good one for you, man. Would you sandboard down a volcano?
Not, which one is that? Same board?
Yeah, like you ride like a sandboard down a freaking volcano. Those hot ass fucking lava volcanoes.
Nah, I'm okay. That one I want to do. I'm good on that one.
Dude, it's
Would you?
those are interesting, man. What about the world's? You've already done some roller coasters,
Yeah,
so
roller coasters are done. Would you do the thing, bro? Like, what if like how acrobats do these things here? Would you like kind of be an acrobat and swing around and get caught? Next one, like they go like this, and then somebody else catches you. Would you do one of those? And if you fall on a big net.
yeah, absolutely. It's
I
just a
mean, it's a
net,
circus
man.
thing. It's not that
Yeah, all right.
hard.
It's only a net.
Yeah. If you fall, dude, you're falling. But I mean, you still gonna jump up. Oh, would you jump? Would you go on a big ass boat, a big cruise ship, and they all stop somewhere in the middle of the ocean? But they just say they're patrolling. Everything's cool. There's no sharks around. Would you jump from like 45, 50 feet? Just jump with your feet. I would do that. I always want to do that.
With a life jacket, though.
Yeah, of course. Life jacket. There's boats around you. If you drown, they'll save you. There's no sharks around because they're patrolling the waters. They got like coast guards around there. So you go out to sea and then you just you jump. They do that in Indonesia. They do that.
Would you ever swim over top of Challenger Deep in the middle of the Pacific?
Which one's challenge? Swimming where?
The deepest spot in the ocean. If you imagine you were on a cruise ship and you went above Challenger Deep, would you ever jump in it and just swim in it?
Ooh. Well, jumping maybe not. Maybe I'll just go low and then go from the boat at the
It's
bottom.
in the Pacific. Even with a life jacket, would you swim over top of it? Just think of all that ground that's beneath you.
Would you? I think I would, but with a dive jacket, just in case. Because I don't know what the currents could take you. I mean, I don't think it suck you down per se. If you're a good swimmer, you might be okay. But I mean, if you go down, bro, the Challenger Deep. I mean, that's like the deepest place in the ocean. Them near the Mariana Trenches. So yeah, I would swim.
That's what I'm saying. It's right above the Maui. That's what you'd be swimming in the Mariana Trench.
But you're swimming on top, though, not in the water.
Yeah, on top of the water.
Another better question is this: how deep would you go? Like, say you're swimming there. If you're on surface, you're good. I feel like because there's a boat here, you can always get help. How deep would you go? Like, and dive deep? I would probably do it. Like, I would go like this, go down, just literally like my height, which I'm 5'10", maybe 6 feet, and then I would just go back to the surface. I'll be too scared. You'll see pitch blackness, bro. Imagine this: you're like a small germ, a small ant in an ocean of deepness. Nowhere to be wrong. So if you swim there, it's big enough. I feel like just jumping in the water there, it's a big feat because you're jumping from far away. You're gonna go underneath the water. You'll go 8 feet underneath. That's scary as fuck in that deepness, bro. Fuck that.
Yeah, because you can only go so deep. Because if you dive too far, man, your bones will get crushed.
Yeah.
By the pressure.
No.
If you're diving over 1,000 feet, dude.
Bro, they might not even let you dive from the ship. If you're realistically in a cruise ship, let's just say this is a big cruise ship going, and you're right here, and this is the water down here, right? You jumping from like 50, or let's just say you're going to jump, because I mean, the dock, we're going to be 50, 60 feet. Crews are big, right? All that pressure, you might go too deep into, they might not let you do that. And the life jacket won't let you, the water won't suck you down. You'll go down, you go right back up real quick. Like you might go down like 5 feet or 6 feet. But if
Yeah.
you know life jacket go too down, you're right. You might go too down, and by the time you swim up, it might suck you down, or you might the pressure, your ears might start clogging. So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to,
If you
you
if
don't
you go
want
yeah if you hit like a depth of like 1,000 feet, man, your bones would disintegrate.
to, dude. You're done. If you hit 1,000 feet there, there's no way you can go back up. How you gonna? Yeah,
Well, there's a guy, there's a diver that said he did over 1,000 feet, just barely, but he like got to like the pressure point. Like, yeah, you got to be careful, man, because
you're
if
like
you
rubber
hit too
bands in your
far,
body.
you'll
You feel
fucking
like your body's getting destroyed, like crushed. You know.
yeah. No, that's the thing. Dude, have you ever even just been in a pool and dove down into a 22-foot deep pool? I have. I've dove to like the bottom of a 20-foot deep pool and tapped the bottom and then came back up. Dude, like when you get to the bottom, you're like, you can hear like the loudest sound in your ears, dude, and you get your
Yeah.
head hurts. That's
I've done
just
15
20 feet.
feet, bro.
That's
Not 22.
just 20 feet. Obviously, to dive 1,000 feet, you have to have a scuba suit and all that, dude. Obviously, you're not swimming in a bathing suit like you are in a pool.
Nah, you're not.
So it's a whole other level. Like,
Watch the video on YouTube. There's a video that talks about the depth, how deep is really the ocean. It shows you like this is a
oh, I've
surface
seen it.
water. Yeah, and it shows you small. You here, and then you go to the depths, and then it goes in red. There's parts of the ocean, bro. You'll never see. It's just like you're in another planet, like you're in another dimension. There's so deep in. There's worlds underneath there, and
At a certain
animals.
depth,
You
at
never
a
see.
certain depth, there's no more sunlight. The sunlight's gone.
Exactly.
Nothing shines in.
It takes almost 2 hours to go to the bottom of some parts of the ocean. Imagine 3 hours and you're going deep in a small robot. Submarines can even go that deep. You gotta go in a small robot like this, like James Cameron. He's been at the bottom.
Yeah, James Cameron's done it, and he said that the submarine started cracking when they were down there. The window, they were like, "Oh shit!" They had to get to the top.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine if that whole thing, the window opened up in there? You're done. You're all dead.
Everybody's dead. A crew. You're already risking
You'll
a
just
lot.
crush. You'll disintegrate.
Yeah, you disintegrate. Like that pressure, that water. That's why not too many animals live down there. The ones that live down there are very special animals. They're very freaky, creepy looking, big squids and all that. There's actually giant squids at the Mariana Trenches. I mean, I don't know if they're still big like back in the day, like the huge ones from like the Moby Dick times, but there's definitely a lot of squid out there and huge calamari and huge octopus. But here's
There's
the
some
thing.
ugly creatures down there.
No, they very much are, and they can bite you. They can also wrap you up. And octopus can shoot ink at you, and the ink can block you. So you're like, ugh. But being down there, bro, before the animals get you, the water, the pressure itself will crush you. So you have no chance. Let's be real. We have no chance. James Cameron went with a robot and with a big submarine, and they risk it. They won twice, I think, because they did the 20th anniversary of Titanic. They did something like some deep sea, diving and going in. Like deep sea going down, as descending. But when they did the Titanic in '97, they did it in '97 with limited equipment, and the technology for marine aquatic technology has changed. And they did. He's an oceanographer, and he's been down there. James Cameron, a few other people, like even out there in the Northern Sea by Greenland. People think that they discovered a mermaid down there. There's a show about it, the Mermaid Show, like 5 years ago. Remember that? 6 years ago.
Slightly crazy.
It's called Mermaid: The New Evidence. And some stuff watching the show, bro, and watching a particular episode, I could see some stuff was bullshit, some was real though. I mean, some of the stuff couldn't be made up because there's no way they can make it up by them being so deep in the water by Greenland. They're deep like 1,000 feet in a small aquatic, like a like it's like a robot thing, goes down there. It's like a special little, type of like it's almost like a not a submarine, but it's like this little room you go in there. It's like a robot that goes up and because ships can go that deep, submarines can go that deep. So it's like a diving type of robot, and they saw the hand of a small creature, and it looked like a little thing in the middle of the head and the body of a mermaid, and he had webs here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it wasn't fake. Although they seen one in the beach, and they said we found a body, and that was clearly fake because it's like a doll. But also they found one in Israel. 2 American students saw one in Israel in '09, and in '05 they caught one of the coast of Croatia. So there's honestly there's good evidence that mermaids actually exist, and they're just between humans and just whatever mermaids, between fish. They're just like aquatic humanoids. They're there's special intelligence and other types of race of beings. And they're kind of half animals, half humans. They're like almost like fish, and they live out there, and they're different. Evidence has always suggested it in folklore. They never really proved it more recently, but there's evidence now. Five they caught one, and I could tell by the images that they were not photoshopped. They were not fake images. Although there was fake stuff in the story, but a lot of it was not fake. When you have 7 good cases that all look very legit, bro, okay, you might have 2 fake ones, and of course you're gonna have a lot of conspiracy theories and bullshit. But other ones were not fake. And the caught one in England, and one of the authorities of the water, he kept debating the marine biologist, kept saying that no, it's not true, and clearly he was hating, and he didn't want to admit it because why would they admit it? The government doesn't want to admit those things.
Exactly.
Kind of like in the movie Jaws, when the city mayor didn't want to admit that a shark problem, and the chief kept saying, and the marine aquatic guy kept saying that. Remember, the guy Matt Hooper. He was like, "No, we gotta get the shark out of here or cut us with these food chain because we have a big problem." He's like, "Oh, would you like to prove that? Huh? Get your name in an National Geographic. That's all fake, you know. It's not. You know, we're gonna have the best summer ever." Remember, he didn't want to hear it. He was trying to be like stubborn and he's being an asshole. Well, that's how it is. There's stuff out there and people don't want to admit there is. You know, like obviously there's animals that are not around anymore in the deep parts of the ocean, but I feel like mermaids are definitely out there.
It's definitely a possibility, my
I mean,
friend.
there's just too many evidence. How do you explain all these evidence? I mean, you can see this.
Yeah,
It's a fake show in the scenario. Well, not those particular images. They were too real to be
it's
fake.
who knows what's down there, man. It's crazy, you know. Like it's
Because
just
he hasn't been explored. Most oceans haven't been explored. If they have, it's been very little. Mostly on top, not even at the bottom. Not even at the top, actually.
yeah,
Think
exactly. So it's crazy to think that's what's out there and what's below the surface.
like
You just never know.
exactly. It's the surface, and then you have levels to below the surface. You have like 5 levels, and the deepest levels go all the way deep. And then, of course, the deepest part of the ocean, which some parts the middle life has been in, mostly equipment, like the robots are going down, the submarines, you know, the special ones are like long, they're shaped like a pen, like they go down there, come back up. Where the Titanic was at, dude, that scene, dude, that's just so deep, dude. And they shot the movie, those scenes in the movie, you know, they go down there. And when James Cameron went, I always wondered how to do that. It's so fascinating. But I wouldn't want to go down there. It's just too much, dude. I'd be too scared to go down there. I'd go deep dive. It's not that deep though. I mean, a couple thousand feet, but after 2,000 feet, dude, it gets crazy. They say
You just don't know. Yeah, you realistically just you
you better
just don't know what you're getting yourself into.
exactly. You better
It
be
would be
careful.
interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like. I don't know if I'd really fuck with like deep sea diving like that, but I'm all for like aerial type stuff. But like that deep sea stuff, I don't know. I would definitely
Hey,
swim with the
well,
sharks and stuff, but like other stuff like that is just like
it's a
going
little
down the
crazy.
Challenger Deep's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, bro.
At least for me, that's just personally
People have
my
gone in
personal opinion.
submarines, they gone underwater cities, like the movie Megalodon. They're doing that like in a big underwater vessels and all that. You know how many ships have sunk down there? But that's a whole other story. But so like here's the thing, right? If you're gonna go down there, bro, between me and you, right? What would you rather do? Like, would you rather like do like aerial stuff, maybe potentially go out of space and go out to Earth's surface, go underneath the water? They're both scary. I think actually on space that might be more, you know, there might be more my twist. But I always loved the water. I always been a marine guy. I just don't want to go that deep. Not the first time. And it's gotta be with experts and with a very good vessel. And again, I have no business going to the deepest part of the ocean. That's just too the
It's a
deepest part
good
of the world.
that's a good way to put it. Your twist, because I think space would be a little bit cooler, but it's a little bit scary too, man, because you just don't know what's out
It's
there.
another thing. I mean,
If you get
it's
trapped
insane
and
to think,
lost,
but I
you just
mean,
don't know.
you're better off in scary parts of the world, like big caves, the big mountains that you can fall. It could be earthquakes and lavas. You might be more safe there than under the water in the deepest part, or actually in space. Believe it or not. Have you thought about that?
Yeah,
I mean, in a volcano spot, you know the volcano can get you, but if you're far away, you might see from far. It could be a sight. You know, the island earthquakes, tsunamis, or islands that go in volcanoes, and the island then disappears. Like in the Pacific, we got a lot of those. But you're still on Earth. But being out there, up in space, or under the water, like on Everest, if it's a big stampede or a big collapse, like those the ice breaks, the glacier destruction that breaks, bro, or the what are they called? When the snow falls, the snow precipitations. They're very dangerous too. But I don't know what's worse. That or being under the sea. The under the sea might be worse, bro. Might be worse
yeah,
than flood.
definitely.
Or want to see like in the movie Poseidon with Kurt Russell, when remember the sea sank the big ass cruise ship, even like this with waves, like that a tsunami in the middle of the ocean. That's even scarier because you're in the middle of the ocean and that shit happens. Like the waves just come gigantic, like 1,000 fucking feet waves, bro, like gigantic storms, dude. Oh, that's scary too, dude. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a
That's scary.
whole.
That's why you can never come from the ocean. People talking about the internet is undefeated. No, the internet is very defeatable. The ocean is always and never will be defeated. Will be always be undefeated. The ocean and the space. But space, we're not gonna be out there because we're here. The ocean could be in the world. The world could sink. So yeah, be good to the water, bro. Keep it cool with the gods of the water.
Exactly.
Poseidon. Poseidon's been a good god. Yeah, no, you know what though? I always took it very like seriously. I always been very like mindful not to go too deep out. I had people in the family pull stunts and go out there deep and almost drowned and shit like that. So you out there, you know what's going on, bro. You're done, dude. You gotta be very careful.
Yeah, you
But
got to be smart.
don't be too scared, to go out there. I mean, go out on a boat, on a yacht. Swim. I'm gonna go out to sea first of all. Then I'll dive in. Diving in the scariest place. I mean, if you're gonna dive sooner, real quick, come back out. If it's calm waters, but then again, you don't know what's out there. What if there's a shark there waiting for you as soon as you go down? You know,
Exactly. You just
big
don't know,
ass
man.
tiger shark with a big mouth ready to bite you. And they don't know people. They're hungry. They'll attack you. But I mean, sharks are not really. They don't attack people in the deep, but they could though. They could. There's a possibility.
Exactly. You just don't know, man. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Oh man, what a crazy! I don't know. Like it's crazy to think about, man. It's such a big world out there. There's so many crazy things we could do.
Yeah.
I don't know. The water, I don't really fucks with the water though like that. Like I said, like I would definitely dive down, but I just don't know, man. When you hit certain depths, it's like,
Too much water, it's just crazy, bro.
yeah, I'm not like that. I'd probably go the other route with space, even though that's dangerous as hell too. You just don't know. But I would definitely go that route. That's just my personal opinion. Like I said, everybody's got like, I don't know. Like I would definitely have a significant fear of drowning.
I mean, bro, the drowning or falling from a space, if you go like planes go here, you go all the way up where you can barely see the clouds and the ground looks very small. You're like, then you can almost see like the stratosphere, like all of the ozone, like you're almost up there, like before you go to space, since you're almost out here, but you're like in Earth's atmosphere, or even like 80,000 feet up. It's still pretty scary. I mean, that's like the same as being down. The pressure of the air, you get crushed, your skin can rip off because you're up past the atmosphere. Your skin will be like this, like you'll rip, like, you gotta be careful. You need a, and if you're in outer space, you need the big helmet now. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man.
That's why those rockets are going to space. They need a lot of fuel and a lot of fire to go. And they usually go from like Texas or Arizona, from special pieces of land. They fly up
yes,
there.
Sir.
It's scary, bro. I don't know. I just want to be careful.
You have to be, bro. Looks like we just hit the 2-hour mark, my man's.
Right here, bro. Man of the Moon. 10 years ago, bro. 11 years ago. Kid Cudi, Man of the Moon. And I got the Man of the Moon too.
It's a phenomenal song, too, and a phenomenal album.
Phenomenal album. It's got Man of the Moon. It's got Embrace the Martian, Day and Night, Make Her Say, all the classics. I was looking at my.
I'm that man on the moon, so yeah, do you, hey.
Speaking of space. Out of space. Man of the Moon was a good one, bro. Many Space, the Moon Man. You know what? I might be bumping these later. I was bumping some LL Cool J and some Jay-Z earlier. So
there you go. You can vibe to it. And tomorrow's Friday, so boom.
Yeah, it's Friday. I mean, it's only right, I guess,
Get some nice vibes going, my man.
For sure.
Is there anything else you got, adrenaline junkie wise?
I think I mentioned almost all of them. I mean, obviously, like doing a cage with lions, you get you go there in a big ass cage, and it's like being in a zoo, but you have the lions around you, and you're in a cage, and you're kind of good to go. I don't think lions are gonna rip the cage, so you'll be okay there. But you gotta have the guys around you to watch with the big trucks, with the safari people, the gaming authorities, because I don't want to get eaten by lions. That's not on the list.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to fuck. Yeah, you don't want any of that.
I want to touch a lion. I want to see a lion. I don't get eaten by one. No thanks.
Exactly.
I think we're pretty much done for this, and let's just kind of see something up. I think the closest one to get realistic set up is probably definitely jet skiing, jet riding, and also possibly parasailing and skydiving. These 4 are definitely activities we could do in the near future. The other ones will take some time.
Parasailing is fun. I just did it a couple of weeks ago. Fun as hell, man. You'd love it, dude.
Right. You did it in Miami. You did it in August too.
Jet skiing I didn't do too long ago either. Jet skiing's fun as hell, man. Those are child's play. Obviously, when we get to shit like going like extreme hiking and stuff like that, but skydiving would definitely be fun as hell, man. Let's set something up. Let's do it. Man, so I think we covered a lot of stuff, man. So what did we cover? We started at travel. We covered our destinations. We covered the hacks of how to get through airport security and how to do carry-on luggage. To have a
scary things, extreme activities.
We went over some airlines. We went over spots internationally and domestically that we want to travel.
Right. Share some stories.
Good apps like travel package apps that we use, Expedia and stuff like that.
We talked about a lot of good things. Yeah.
We went over adrenaline junkie. And then we went to the second portion of the podcast today where we talked about the adrenaline junkie side, where we went through all of our other little things. And the most important thing, guys, is I want to pose the question. So what is some crazy like adrenaline junkie stuff that you guys want to do? Like maybe you haven't done it, or maybe you have done it, and then share that experience with us, because we definitely want to hear that.
Want to see what you guys have done, what you've done, and also what you haven't done but you're interested in, or whatever you like to do.
Yeah, definitely. So share that with us. If you have any other better tips for traveling that make it easy, or places you want to go, or places you've been, let us know, because I'm also always encouraged to hear about what other good places there are. Sometimes there's like places out there that like you've never even heard of, and people say they've traveled there, and they're like, wow, like the experience that they had there is just phenomenal. So we've listed a lot of places that pretty much everybody's probably heard of, but there's definitely some other good spots that I know. Like some people have told me, like, yeah, this is a place I've never even heard of it before. So share us your tips there. Let us know what you guys
That's what you're
what you guys
thinking.
have tips wise, travel wise, and
Right.
let us know your adrenaline junkie stories. What do you guys have
Share
experienced?
stories with us and tell us places you think we should go and talk about. Definitely feedback. Let us know what you
Give you
think of
that
that
rush.
as well as different places. This is episode 10. It's definitely a milestone for us a little bit. I mean, it's 10 episodes in, about 3 months, right? About 3.5 months now because we started in August, I believe. So yeah,
I think we started September, first week of September.
September. Okay.
Yeah,
Episode one was like, I think episode one was like late August though. I think might have
it
been.
might have been. It might have been because that was the pre-recorded one.
Yeah. So and it took a couple days to to put in to be put
Yeah.
in. So also since we're on this topic, real quick before we go to the final segment, this is like the semifinal. So like I said, bro, he's been 10 episodes, bro. He's definitely a big one. We promoted the shit out of this one. We talked about it. We really definitely got together and did a lot of work for this one. So just to kind of give you guys a little rerun and a little review, it's been so far 9 episodes. This is the 10th one, so this is the 10th episode from the first one to the 10th one. We had some good content in all those, and if for the comment section, guys are watching, if whoever's watching, you can also talk about some of the favorite ones up to this point. We would kind of like talk about them all. We might mention a little, but we don't have too much time to kind of go in depth on all of them. But from the first one, how to cope and live with quarantine and COVID, what's going on. To last week's one, which was to be a better version of yourself. We talked about a lot of things, bro, right? Sightseeing. Obviously, today was about travel and about adrenaline rush types of places and activities. We talked about all about sports, right? We did about one episode on sports, which was, I believe, 6. Was it 6? I think it was 6 or 5. It was 5.
Yeah, it was one of those. I forget exactly which one. I think it was 5.
We did sightseeing. We did how to have a productive day and get up in the morning and do productive things. What else did we talk about? I mean, it's been some good episodes so far. I
We
mean,
did a horror one where we talked about horror movies and like
horror movie
paranormal.
reactions.
Paranormal.
We did
We did one on the paranormal, which was different.
scary places to go in PA, like
Networking.
You said what? Networking for sure, and seeing the other stuff, like tips on networking, and like getting things done, waking up in the morning, how being productive. We talked about let me see.
We talked about our favorite like nightclub spots and like cocktails
and places, like kind of like to reference to go and all that activities. We talked about plans for the future after like college and all that. One of the episodes was a subtopic. It's good to that, for most episodes we had subtopics for almost all of them, and if not, we had one solid topic that kind of covered most of the length of the episode. So yeah, we had I mean, the recap has been good, bro. So number 10, man, I mean, it's hell of an episode so far. It's been a good one. We covered a lot, I think. Definitely some good content, guys.
It's been a hell of a thing, man. We covered a lot of stuff. We're gonna
We
have a really good one coming up in a couple weeks, man. It's gonna be really, really good. Entrepreneurship, and it's going to be a veteran in the business industry who's been in the industry for 20 plus years, and he used to work for the NFL. So this one's that one's gonna be great.
This is gonna be a very good one, you guys.
I'm excited to bring our guest on for that one. That one's gonna be interesting.
We're also gonna have a good one next week's 11. We're more than likely gonna have a guest. Also, guy that I've been waiting to bring on for a while, a friend of mine, and then we'll have one of our friends that Steve just mentioned. Like you just said, bro. We'll have them on probably 12 or 13. So I mean, with Thanksgiving, we'll see how this month goes. So far, it's been a decent month. October is a good month. This month is a good month, minus some technicalities on Facebook. But so much happened. I mean, the election. I don't get into that too much, but who won? Who didn't win? We don't know exactly. I mean, they're saying Joe Biden, but we don't know exactly. But that's another thing that's been going on. You went to Miami. That was obviously a very good weekend for you, or a good week rather. You had a lot of good times there, and it kind of tie up with today's topic on the podcast. We talked about, I mean, obviously the whole, like with music and entertainment and movies and all that, it's been a pretty, decent, week. I mean, I think sports wise, the NBA starts next month. Football is going pretty good. I mean, soccer is still going good, decent.
There's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah. What's it called? I think as far as like sport wise, I know that they're gonna have there's a couple of good fights coming up, and also the one with the Tyson Roy Jones fight should be a good one, bro. I don't know who's gonna want to see it or not, but I'm definitely gonna be trying to tune in and interested in watching that. And a couple of UFC fight nights here and there. I don't think it's nothing big. Maybe next month, but with the end of the year, we're gonna have a big card coming up. A couple of fighters retiring. Yeah, Not too much in the world of sports. But from my end, bro, I do got a game this weekend, and we have a friendly coming up as well. And I scored the game winner last weekend, so I had a pretty good game. We won one and we lost one too because we had two back-to-back games because of the elections. They pushed the game back. Castle League took a break. Don't ask me why. They make the rules. And you know, the funny thing is, they got us on rehab, bro. Literally, rehab means that they got us up in the morning really early. Like they got us like the early morning shift. Like we're going there. Like you can't drink that before. Don't party because the games are like 8 o'clock, which means you have to be there 7:30 or 7 o'clock in Jersey, far away. Oh yeah, some very early games, early games for the birds.
Yeah, bright and early.
But it's cool though, because I like getting
For
up
the
bright and early. 'Cause
birds.
it's a workout. You could go to workout after that, and you
What-
get out the chest.
Would you say really early games for the birds?
Waking up with the birds, and I'm like this.
Waking up with the birds.
Like waking up early because I got up at 7 o'clock like last Saturday, and I went to sleep at like 1 in the morning. So realistically, I slept like 5 hours, maybe. Six. I don't even like yeah, about 6 hours, maybe not even. So I think I slept
Crazy.
like 6 hours, and yeah, I had to be up at 7, bro. And I got picked up, and the game itself was an hour away. It was in Burlington, New Jersey. It was a hike.
Yeah, that's not too far, but it's also not super close.
Nah, it's a little past Bristol. From here, it's like a nice amount of like a nice driving amount. If you live like past Frankie Mills, like up there, where like kind of like near Woodhaven, you're probably more likely closer. You're prone to make it like in 20 minutes. For me, it says 40 minutes. I mean, I did it for 35, but it said 42-minute drive in the morning with Saturday morning. Not too bad traffic, but yeah, we had a good game. We won. I scored a goal in the 90th minute. It was actually a pretty good game, and I was injured. I still did my thing, so we got a win. But then we lost the next game, unfortunately, by a goal. But we also played two games back to back, and it's very hard to play two games Saturday morning and Sunday morning back to back. I mean,
Yeah, it's tough. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Man. But I think this one was good, man. It was episode 10, so we knocked out a milestone here. Like we said,
a lot of topics in store for us for next episodes. It should be really good ones. The upcoming one is going to be a very good one. A little different because we have a guy who's a speaker and a podcaster. Also, somebody's got very much experience. Obviously, I mean, you are a little more experienced now than we were like 4 months ago. But this guy's been doing it for a while. He can tell us tricks and ins and outs of the trade and of the techniques as well of this whole podcasting. Podcast is kind of like how it goes. Everybody got their own style to it, but like I say, it'll be good to kind of talk to this guy beforehand and then obviously film the episode with him. So we're probably gonna go live. I think it's gonna be a Thursday, and it's gotta be a Thursday, but we'll figure it all out. And it's gonna be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it falls on the 19th, which is also our friend's birthday. So
it's one of our good friends' birthdays. Yeah, it is the 19th, which is a week from today. Yeah, today's the 12th. So
today's the 12th. So today was supposed to be 12. I mean 11, but obviously, with the pushback last week, and how things went, we had to do a few things last minute. And you know what? Second time on YouTube, bro. We're getting some more viewers. Our viewers are growing from 20 to like 80 people. And even if they watch the next day, it's cool as long as the numbers keep going up. Can't complain there. Like I said, it's been definitely some good episodes. We'll definitely have maybe some banners and some more intros for you guys and make things as exciting as we can. Me and Steve are definitely, like I said, man, we're definitely working ideas all the time. As we speak, we're making up things for next episode. So, we're trying to keep them up to speed, and stay up to par when everything is going on. And of course, on the podcast, and, again, I'm excited to be on YouTube for the second time. It's great, and Facebook, IG eventually. So
exactly.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let me think. Anything else you want to add, bro? I mean, anything we haven't covered yet, or because I think we're pretty much good to go.
I think we covered everything, man. I think it was a lot of good stuff.
Good content as usually, bro. I mean, we appreciate whoever's watching and whoever's gonna be watching this eventually. I mean, definitely subscribe and like the page and check us out and spread the word a little. I'm definitely inviting some more people, and and we're trying to work the page on IG. We do have a page on IG. The page is called the Locked In Podcast, correct?
Yes, the Locked In Podcast.
Just on IG. Okay, you guys. I mean, it's me and Steve that run it. Might have somebody help us doing it, but I mean, usually it's between us. So it's usually me and him. If you follow one of us two, all good to go. And give us a follow back. We follow some people. We want to put some content there eventually, pictures, and keep you guys up to post. But I mean, at least the group on Facebook and the page on Facebook has been growing too. I mean, since like the last time and the last few weeks, definitely numbers are growing. More viewers and subscribers and people that are accepting joining the group, accepting the requests. So it's
exactly. We're
numbers are
growing
growing.
slowly but surely. Slowly but surely.
Yes, trust in the process, man. Definitely number 10, man. Good podcast, bro. I mean, it's been 10 in, bro. The 10th podcast, the 10th anniversary of the podcast. Let me see. It's 3 months in. About to be 4 months because I believe late November will be 4 months because September, October. Yeah, it'll be 3.5 months by like by next week. So by the 29th, 28th, it'll be like almost you'll be going on 4 months. So
It'll be
that'll be
about 3 months, and if we start at end of August, so it'd be like
three and a half,
September,
yeah, three
October,
and a half months.
November.
Yeah,
So interesting, man. There's some good content.
3 months don't feel like a lot, but it's been a while now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good shit for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
Have
man.
fun, bro. Like I said, hope people here were in line and learn something new. Hopefully, we give them some good stuff. Definitely gotta rewatch this one and see how everything kind of went, man. Everything looked good. I mean, again, thank you to supporters, man. Our helpers there, our guys. Some guys behind the scene, they know who they are. They're always on a page, always posting things and liking and trying to spread the word. We'll have more for you guys shortly. Slowly but surely, definitely gonna be going on. And I'm gonna grow more. The friend I want to have one of our guests is gonna be helping us as well behind the scenes, and a couple of them actually. So expect good things. Don't really have much else to say, man. Much to add. I think it's been a good, night, and yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I had fun, man. As always, man. It's always good collaborating. So
Awesome,
if
bro.
nothing else, like have a great night, my friend. And to everybody else out there, we look forward to seeing you in the next episode, which will be episode 11 of the Locked In Podcast. So everybody have a great weekend. Tune
Yes,
in if you're watching this after the fact or if you're watching this live. Have a great night.
have a good one
And
too, bro. We'll talk to you soon, man. You guys
see
have a good
you.
one, all
See
right?
you in episode 11.
Peace, guys. See you from the G and Steve show.
Have a good night.